Let's take a look. Looks like Ethereum's coming back a bit after yesterday's sell-off. That's nice. A bit. Let's take a look at Wax, though. This is more relevant. Last couple of days in Wax.
Website. I feel like I just want to rant about how dumb X is for like 30 minutes, but we should probably talk about Wax stuff.
Yeah, it is pretty fucking dumb. I don't know. I feel like he just makes all of these decisions that are just so clearly like bad ideas.
I feel like the entire Twitter thing is just like a vanity project for him. Like nothing he's done has been smart business wise. It's just like, how do I control this thing that I like trolling on? Also found a cool thing. I helped any observation troubleshoot. He has like a Wax transaction tracker tool that's basically like what it's like what Wax Detective does, but his is in a table form, so you can export it into like Excel and stuff, or copy it into Excel and then paste it as like a CSV, which is pretty sick.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
I'm planning on using it to blacklist a bunch of bots from her drops, and that would have taken me hours of manual copying and pasting, but pretty much just rip every account a bot has sent to and just been like, nope, you're blacklisted. So
yeah, I was in the Chain Champs chat yesterday, like asking if it'd be in like if there's possibility that we'll get like a auto claim drops tool, and he immediately pointed out a thing that I wasn't thinking of, is that a lot of drops have claim limits per account. And since a tool like that would use the same wallet to claim for everybody, that would like limit you to how many. Yeah, which is like, damn, that's true. But I don't know. The claim limit has been like 200 per account recently. So I don't know. Let it go for 200, I guess.
Yeah, for all the people that don't know how to make their drops correctly, even though I feel like, I don't know, all these projects that have been around on Wax for years having like hundreds of claim limits. It's like, what do you know what's going to happen here? Like a couple of people are going to get everything, and then it's going to screw it over for most of the collectors. But
yeah, Jasper said that like in order to mitigate botting, like that needs to happen on the drop side. Like the drop person making the drop could blacklist like bot accounts or use the bot scores and stuff, which is like, it's true you could do that, but the reality is they don't. So maybe like make a tool for us in the reality versus like be like, we don't need a tool because in theory it's not needed. Well, I mean, while I agree he's right, and creators should, you know, do anti-botting measures on the drop side of things, they don't.
I mean, we are, but I feel like we're one of the only people that are trying out of like the last like 30 PFP drops I've participated in. Some people think they do it on purpose. Like they know the faster it sells out, the more the secondary pumps, and the more the secondary pumps, the more people FOMO in for the secondary fees. So the whole thing is just like, you know, to create FOMO, which I don't disagree with, to be honest, because those things probably would not sell out if there's a one claim per wallet and there's 10,000 of them.
100%. I totally agree. I don't think they would like the floor price wouldn't shoot the fuck up on drop day if like they didn't sell out immediately, and they wouldn't sell out immediately if people weren't buying 1,000 per person. But
I don't know. It is what it is.
Yep.
I do also kind of agree it's on the projects to figure that crap out. And I kind of agree with projects, just in reality, they aren't, because they're trying to sell stuff.
They aren't. Yeah, they aren't because they don't care, and it's not about the like user experience. It's about their bottom line, which I get that too, but kind of shitty. I just personally, I would pay quite a bit of my chimp tokens to use a tool like that, and I have a lot. I have like hundreds of chimp tokens.
Yeah, I probably would too, and I honestly don't use the auto sell feature, so
yeah. Like even if it isn't like a drop that I think is gonna insta sell out, even if it's just like, oh, this is a drop that's happening at like an hour where I'm trying to sleep, like I'm fine with dropping some chimp tokens just to like.
I'm trying to wake up at 7 a.m. to get every new profile picture drop.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, nah, man, I could sleep, so fuck that.
I do like the like trust wallet score they're working on though. I think that will be useful.
I do too. Yeah, and especially if like other marketplaces or other like drops where you can host a drop, like if they could, you know, tap into that score where it's like, whitelist or blacklist any wallet that has a score below this or something like that, or blacklist any bot like wallet that the tool thinks is a botter, which would be
The only
cool.
problem with that though is like almost immediately they'll just learn to make new wallets for every drop, and you can't.
Yeah, no question.
And if you exclude people with new wallets, then no new people can buy into the project, and then that's kind of like back to fucking square one of why this stuff doesn't work. But
yeah, that's true.
It's almost why I think, I don't know, hopefully botters aren't watching us, but my plan is to get a giant blacklist and then push the transaction about 3 minutes before a drop goes live, so they don't know they're blacklisted until it's too fucking late to create a new bot network.
Yeah, exactly.
And I hope they're just fucking sitting there waiting to buy, and then it just rejects all their accounts. And they're like, I hope we get angry people coming in our Discord like, why was I blacklisted last minute? I'm like, you know why you're blacklisted, you motherfucker.
Yeah, it's like we blacklist botters. Sorry.
Which I feel like there's a good chance that'll happen, especially if we're advertising it.
Yeah, we fight for the users, baby. Like in, what is that movie? Tron.
I don't remember that from that movie.
That's like what the program that like the main guy says. He's like at the end when he's like confronted by the mainframe, he's just like, I fight for the users. It's like, oh man, that movie's fucking ancient too.
You mean like the 80s one, or is that in the Daft Punk one?
The 80s one. I don't know if maybe it's in both.
I don't know if I've ever seen the 80s one, so that would make sense why I do not.
Yeah, maybe it's not in the new one, but it's definitely like a quote from the like program at the end where he's just like, I fight for the users. And it's just such an epic, like, damn. I don't know. It hits. I feel like they must have it in the new one. It's such a like moment in the plot. I just don't remember the new one that well. I remember it having like Daft Punk like soundtrack, and then I was expecting like more Daft Punk-ish music, and it really wasn't very like standard Daft Punk. It was still cool, like good soundtrack, but
yeah, it was much more cinematic. They didn't just make like dance. Yeah, pops. There was that one scene that Daft Punk was in when they're in like the club.
Yeah,
that was like
yeah, that was pretty fun. That movie was. I don't know if it was good or not. I don't know. I'm gonna say it was probably not very good.
I don't know. I think I had too high of expectations. I was expecting it to be sick. I was expecting the music to be cooler than it was. It was probably just too high of expectations. They also had the whole weird like they had like a weird like that must have been like AI before AI, right? For Jeff Bridges, because Jeff Bridges was young Jeff Bridges in that movie.
Yeah, that was I forget, Luna, I think was the studio behind that one. That was like just a bunch of like de-age work done to him.
And honestly, really well done.
It's like,
I mean, like,
yeah, it looked really good. Yeah, that's especially like I feel like you get a little bit of a pass because they are in a computer, so like any kind of like computery look to him was kind of like, well, he is. They are inside the computer right now, so it should look a little OpenGL or whatever. But
I honestly feel that like most of it didn't look that computery. Like even like it was pretty.
I kind of agree.
Visual effects.
I thought the Star Wars guy looked more computery than Jeff Bridges did in that one.
Had I not known that Jeff Bridges is a much older man, like if I didn't know who Jeff Bridges was, I feel like I could have watched that movie and not even noticed that it was CGI for most of it.
The fucking, what was it, Benjamin Button effects were really good too. The aging and de-aging of him, that was so fucking wild. It looked so good.
I honestly don't know if I've ever seen that entire movie. That movie is just like a cultural thing.
Yeah, I think it got really popular because the concept was interesting of like aging backwards.
I don't remember if I have seen the movie. I have no idea what the plot is besides that though. Like, I mean, they have to be telling a story besides just somebody aging backwards. That's just like a concept.
It's like, it's like a love story about the guy aging backwards, but other than that, it's
somebody turns into a pedophile at the end.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, at the end, where it's like the old lady and he's like a kid. I don't know. It's cute. It's a nice movie. It doesn't come across as weird. I did recently watch Barbie. That was fun.
You go to the theater to watch it? Or
I went to the theater, yeah. I got myself the A-list again.
Over $150 million opening weekend, which is pretty fucking good. That's like Marvel level of movies.
Yeah. I thought it was really fun. It was really good. Very like very heavy-handed in its like feminism like message, which I feel like great. It needs to be kind of heavy-handed, I think. Like, otherwise people miss it. So that worked out. But
a brand that every girl grew up liking, and it's like,
yeah,
I don't know, that movie's for women, basically. I mean, not to say men can't enjoy it too, but like the brand is meant for little girls when they're growing up. So like teaching them good messages, I don't think is a bad thing.
Paul and I went
Did you
with a
see
couple of our like.
Oppenheimer? Did you do
I
Barbenheimer?
don't
Did you
want
do them
to.
back to back?
No, I don't want to see Oppenheimer. But Paul did. Paul went to see it yesterday. I'm not interested. Paul was like amazed by my like disdain for that fucking whole story. I just really, really dislike that. Like I don't need to see a humanization of people involved in that atrocity. Personally, I feel like in the history classes you learn about like the way they drop the bomb and stuff as it's like part of war. That's not war. Like you don't drop nukes on civilian cities twice. Like, ugh, there's no excuse for that, and I just don't want to see it. But I hear it's a great movie as far as like cinematic and like if you like entertainment or whatnot. I don't know. I'm sure it's gonna win Oscars, but it's not for me.
I will say it did like half of the opening weekend as
Yeah,
did
good
half
for them.
the opening weekend of Barbie. People like Barbie more, even though they're being paired together. Mono Suerte asks, "Is Barbie an adult-oriented movie?"
Yeah, definitely. It's like a lot of it is like nuanced and for like adults more than anything, but it is.
I mean, like I think you might be asking, like, is it friendly for children? Like, if you take your kids, is it inappropriate?
Oh no, it's a family film for sure. But there is like the story and like the like concepts that are being discussed aren't like catered to children. Like I feel like you would enjoy it as an adult if you took your kid to see it. There's nothing like about it that is like kind of grody or like sexually or sexualization or anything like that would be inappropriate for children, I think. I went with a bunch, like I said, Paul and we like went with a couple gay friends of ours, and like they were so into it. Like we went to go pick him up, and like he came out like pink Barbie shirt, like pink shorts. He's like he was so ready. It's funny, but I don't know. It was a fun movie. Really, like just a kind of a good time. I would watch it again, and I'd recommend it. But like I said, Oppenheimer, I'm sure is a great movie. I just really don't care for a story that like humanizes, you know, people involved in doing something like that.
I think that's
like that whole concept. That's Paul was like, Christopher Nolan usually won't do that. Like he won't pull punches. And I was just like, I guarantee you it's going to be something along the lines of like Oppenheimer being like, I regret this. And like, you know, some kind of like, I didn't know what I was doing. And Paul said it. He was like, yeah, there's kind of like that is the thing. And it's just like, that doesn't fly when you're like the peak of the physics. Like you knew what you were doing. There isn't someone who duped you into making a nuke. Not only did you know what you were doing, you knew theoretically what could have happened when splitting an atom, and the theoretical outcome was like entire world annihilation. So it's like, what the fuck were you doing? There's really, and I guess it's obviously not a one man thing. It's a team, and I'm sure there's like, the whole like, oh, well, if we don't do it, the Nazis will do it is always just like an easy thing to fall back on. But it's just, I don't know. That if we don't, they will doesn't excuse dropping nuclear weapons onto civilian cities. Like that is one of the most egregious like instances of mass murder in the human history. And it's really not told like that. At least when I was learning about like World War II in high school in America, it was like, oh, it was the last. It's like, no, it wasn't. Like you did that it was a political move effectively. And yeah, it saved American lives, but it was American military personnel lives. People who were, in the military, people who like that is war casualties are military personnel, not, families living in a city, like children going to school, like old people like laying in the hospital and like having a visit from their family that day, getting fucking nuked. That's not war. And I don't know how many amazing directors can make a movie, and like none of that's ever going to change my opinion on it. And so I don't need them to try. I'm not interested in seeing it. But again, I'm sure it's a great movie, and I also don't think anything less of people who want to go see it. Like Paul went to go see it, and I was like, cool, great. Like invite a friend. I don't want to see it.
My buddy posted on Instagram, he's like, if you would have told me when I was like a teenager that I'd be more excited about a Barbie movie than a Christopher Nolan movie, I'd say you're fucking crazy. But he's like, the Barbie movie's better when you saw both. And I was like, Barbie also has like the craziest marketing campaign. They put like 150 million into their marketing campaign.
I really like Margot Robbie too. Like she's a perfect person to cast for that. I really think she's just like a fun, like she has this very like accessible like character to her. She just seems like someone who's like, you know what I mean, she's really, really pretty and like really good at acting and stuff, but she feels like she has that like girl next door vibe. Like she seems very approachable. She feels like the perfect person to cast for Barbie. She's basically like, who's the person who played like Something About Mary in like the 90s or 2000, like
Is that
Cameron
Drew
Diaz
Barrymore?
maybe? Yeah. I forget who that is. But
Maybe
like
it's Cameron Diaz,
she has
I
the
don't know.
same vibe to me. She has the
I
same
think you're
vibe,
right.
like
I
that's
think
just
it
really
is.
fun.
It is Cameron Diaz.
Is it? Okay, yeah. She has a similar vibe to me where it's like it's a very fun, she's really like, she seems like you'd be friends, you know, and I like her as Harley Quinn. I like her in everything I've seen her in. I really, really enjoyed the
I
Barbie
liked
movie.
her in I, Tonya. I thought that was a really good film.
That was pretty good, yeah. That was more serious too.
I saw another person that like they're saying that like there's American people they're like, why is this like Hollywood actor have to use an Australian accent? And it's like because she's doing an Australian accent impressions. She's Australian. Like, are you that dumb that she's so good at her accent in movies that like people are trying to call her out for like trying to distance herself from being American and like during the press it's like she's not American. Like people are saying
There's a lot of major Hollywood stars are Australian. It's really interesting. Like Australia's main export seems to be like A-list celebrities.
I feel like that's
Like
just a testament to her
I
acting.
didn't know
Though,
Hugh
she tricked people into
Jackman.
thinking she's American.
I grew up with like Wolverine and like X-Men stuff. I never realized Hugh Jackman was Australian until like I saw he played in that movie Australia or whatever, and I was like, damn, he's great at the Australian accent. And then I see him like do press for the movie, and he's still in the accent. I was like, what the hell? It's like he's doing like a method thing. It's like, nah, he's just straight up Australian. It's like, damn, dude, Wolverine never had that like Australian accent. He like nails the American one. And then I guess Chris Hemsworth, those guys are Australian, like the
There's a lot of
Hemsworths.
British actors that do really good
Like,
American accents
yeah,
too.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think
It's interesting,
the main dude from Walking Dead, I think, is British. That always blew my mind because he sounds so like Southern.
right? Right? He
Carl!
nails Carl. Yeah, he's great. But yeah, it's
Right, you want to dive into some tech stuff? We can get way off the rails
let's
talking
do it.
about movies.
Yeah, we're definitely going a little off the rails. Like I said, Paul was kind of like surprised. I was very against going to see Oppenheimer, but
I'm honestly kind of surprised
again,
too. I didn't know you had that strong of a take
yeah,
on it, but I
that's
do think
yeah,
it's
that
weird,
was
like the Dahmer series. Dahmer's just fucking weird. Like, why do we need to make a humanized version of a serial killer?
that's another
Like,
yeah. That's I don't watch that one either. I was just like I know the story. Like I like lived in the like place where that shit happened. Like we know about this, and then it's like I don't need to see like the empathetic side of this. Like there is no empathetic side to this, and that's similar to how I feel.
I'm just like, this is fucking weird. I don't like watching this. Like, I don't know. I'm actually kind
Yeah,
of into true crime shit too, but it's like I'd rather learn from like the true crime perspective than like hang out with
yeah,
him and what he's
exactly.
doing
Give
in
me
his
the.
free time.
I'll watch the documentary, and that shit's super interesting. And I'll watch like the like court like room like tapes and stuff like that. I think that's cool. It's very like fascinating to see, and I do like from a psychology standpoint, the like mindset of people like that is definitely like fascinating. But I don't need to see like, oh, here's this guy's messed up childhood, and now I can empathize with him like murdering and eating people and shit like that. It's just like, nah, dude, there is no empathy for that from me anyway. But you know, people love it. So, and again, I think Christopher Nolan makes great movies. It's going to be a good movie, especially cinematically speaking. And at the end of the day, it's entertainment. And you don't have to take such a like principled stand on entertainment, I don't think either. So
I mean, people are also just obsessed with World War II still. Like, I feel like World War II is
yeah,
just like
exactly.
dad boners. Like, every dad just loves World War II.
Yeah. That was I wanted to show Paul's musical, but that's like a big part of it. Like there's the dad's song, and they're like, oh, like here it's like we'll give you a dad makeover. Hey, take this book on World War II. And all the dads are like, yo, that's the best, like that's my favorite war. I have to play that one of these days. But yeah, let's change gears. I already have the Wax screen up here. This is the Wax daily chart right now. This last week, or especially in the last couple of days, we saw a pretty nice pump, a little breakout on the Wax chart. And last few weeks, we have been looking at the Wax charts too a little bit, alongside with checking out the rest of the crypto market. Usually, I keep my eyes more fixed on Bitcoin and Ethereum. And but I'm going to start today by just like let's take a look at what Wax did the last couple of days, and if it was kind of like breaking out of what the expectation was. And I would say not quite yet. So you can see here's the Wax chart on the daily, and you see what we had been looking at in the past is like on the way down, we did note that the on-balance volume had been rising, and kind of mentioning that generally speaking is a indication of accumulation, and accumulation can, basically leads to a break, either up or down, but I would say up in a case where the divergence is price movement down, on-balance volume movement up. And we did kind of get a bit of a breakout in the last few days. But what we've been talking about also is that we want to see the daily chart making highs that close full days above 6 cents. And so you see here, this is kind of the previous support level. You can see here is like it bounced on the way up there. It very much like, it broke through it, but then it became, kind of our resistance here before pushing down. And now it became our support. We bounced on it on this first sell-off. We kind of lost it here and then retested it. It's now become resistance again, and it needs to flip still. 6 cents needs to flip into support for us to continue our upward trend. We've definitely flipped the trend here, like longer term here on the daily. So we did get our print shift and the kind of green bands here. But you can see at the 6 cents mark here, the price action that happened over the last few days only happened within the wicks of the candles, not the candles itself. And when we're looking at a candle like this, what we're looking at with this like thick part versus the wick part is effectively this. So a candle, like let's say I'm going to look at this first candle here. What this fat part of the candle means is that when this 24-hour period started, and you can actually see here on the right, when the next period ends and the next candle will start here underneath. It's this little timer that's ticking down there. So it looks like 1 second. Let me lean in. Yeah, about an hour and 44 minutes from now, this day will close and the next day will start. So the next candle will get printed onto our chart here in an hour and 44 minutes and 14 seconds. And what this body of this candle represents is that when this candle started, the base of the candle is where the price was. And then when the candle closed, the top of the thick portion of the candle is where the price was when the candle closed. And then the wick represents the price movement that happened between open and close. So during this 24-hour period, the price of wax shot all the way up to here and then fell all the way back down to here before the day closed. Next day, started right there where this previous one closed. It shot all the way up to here, dropped all the way back down to here, and then closed the candle. Anytime that a close of a candle is higher than the open of the candle, the body of that candle would be green. Whereas if the candle becomes, if the candle starts higher and ends lower, that turns into a red candle, which you can see at this next one here. So the candle, the body of it is still green, and that's due to my indicator, but the outline of it is red. And so if I were to turn off my indicator, you could see like by default candles will have this green and red kind of like hodgepodge of colors, and the red candles represent basically a price where the daily or whatever the time frame, where the end of that time frame ended lower than the beginning of it. So this current one is looking like it'll probably close red in the next hour and 45 minutes. I'm going to turn back my trading buddy indicator. And we can still see that color. It's just the outline. I just have it paint the inside to match the strength band so that it's easier to kind of like get a quick overview of what the current trend is. But with wax doing what it's doing, we looked at, like, everybody was kind of looking for answers. Why are we getting a big pump? A lot of people are in the dark, and I would say I'm one of those people. It does seem kind of like seemingly random price movement. The best guess that I've seen so far that I kind of would say is like, yeah, I could see that happening would be just buying like bots that track wax in terms of Bitcoin, purchasing when wax hit an all-time low. And so if we look at, for example, we're looking at wax P and go to crypto, wax P in Bitcoin. So here's wax in Bitcoin. You can see, let's reset the chart. We had been selling off in terms of Bitcoin quite a bit. And this would have been probably the lowest price in terms of Satoshis. So right here is the current price of wax in Bitcoin. A Satoshi is a unit of Bitcoin that is 8 decimal places away from a full Bitcoin. So basically, the lowest denomination that a Bitcoin can be is considered a Satoshi. So currently, one wax is about 189 Satoshis or sats. And basically, what people were speculating is, there's a lot, like here you can see on the on balance volume, a ton of buy pressure coming from effectively people trading on this chart is kind of what people were guessing. And it's not a bad guess. Maybe that's what's going on. It is still a guess though, and I'd personally like to track this in terms of USD. And part of that isn't just because it's more easy for me to understand, 5 cents over 186 sats or whatever as what that value is, but also because a lot of wax trading pairs are actually paired with a stable coin or with dollars across the centralized exchange markets. So if we look at wax P, you can see like it's paired with Tether on Binance. It's paired with South Korean won directly on BitHub. So that's another, not a stable coin, but like a fiat currency. It is paired with Bitcoin also on Binance. So Binance maintains both pairs. And then we can, you could basically look at see which one has more volume. But like looking at some other exchanges, here it looks like wax paired with dollars, Bitcoin and Ethereum over on Bitrex. And then the more we look at these charts, the more you see like a lot of these exchanges do offer it in either local fiat currencies or paired with Tether. So, I mean, there's a decent amount of them paired with Bitcoin and Ethereum as well, but the volume is the next thing you'd want to check. And last time I checked, which was quite a while ago, honestly, the majority of the volume was in the dollar pegged pairs versus the Bitcoin pegged ones. The Bitcoin pegged pairs, or the Bitcoin like paired charts tended to act as like arbitrage between the dollar paired ones versus, being the driving force of these movements. And you can actually see that is not the case. So this is the wax Bitcoin, and you can see, look at this big old green here, this big green dildo or whatever you want to call it, the big green chart here. This is volume. So this is how much was going. So this is clearly lots of volume going on the Bitcoin chart at the moment. But I imagine even if we go back to wax and wax P and USDT, similarly we're seeing lots of volume.
Like there's a lot of people that, like when I was looking in the wax unofficial chat, like a ton of people were like, oh, I've been buying it based on the sat price as it's been going down in Bitcoin. But that's like a lot of traders look at that and not the price in US dollars, like people that are really crypto heads. And I think a lot of people got into wax not really being into Bitcoin first, but people that like are trading altcoins based on being in a Bitcoin first. A lot of people view everything as like their price relation to Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of all altcoins. A lot of people will trade their altcoins, relative to a Bitcoin price rather than to a dollar price. But either way, that's not like for sure what's happening. It could just be like random price movements. And a big part of what we were looking at in the last few weeks is, as the markets have been selling off for a while, look at the on balance volume has just been climbing and climbing. So we are still expecting kind of a breakout here and a flip eventually. And if we go to like the longer term timelines here, so on the weekly I'm going, you can see still it's all red because we're still in the weekly bear trend. We're still looking to break out of that long-term downtrend and flip all this, to green again. And we still haven't gotten there yet. I think a move like, something like that would act if we can close the full week there. But again, these are just wicks. That's not going to count for, what we're looking at for trends is the fat part of these candles, not the wicks. Wicks can be, wicks is basically a low volume. Wicks is like you're pumping up a price and then immediately it gets bought back down. So still on the weekly chart, we're waiting to see this flip into a bullish pattern. But for now, we're definitely not blindsided by this because it hasn't really fallen outside of our expectation. We were expecting a bit of a price increase, but we are still waiting for 6 cents to become our support, not our resistance level. And let me go back to the chart. I actually drew the lines on, and that's still kind of. Oh yeah, hit me.
He said, have you thought about the wax pump related to the Polygon bridge? If you're talking about the NFT bridge to Polygon, like I feel like there's a 0% chance that pumped wax personally. I can't read everybody's motivations that buys wax, but like I think maybe blockchain brawlers you can bridge over to Polygon, but like that alone is not going to bump price of wax, like in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's nice to see the bridges kind of coming more and more online, especially considering that, NFT markets across like the different layer twos and across the different main blockchains are pretty fractured. So it's really cool to see like Wax starting to bridge all those things. So I don't really care too much about bridging my NFTs to Polygon, but I am interested in seeing Polygon NFTs bridged to Wax. Personally, I like buying NFTs on Wax. I'm not really doing a lot of that on Polygon. I use Polygon as like a DeFi layer too, not a what is it NFT layer too. So like Lewis is recently listing some of his dead drop NFTs on Polygon. So it'd be cool to see, being able to buy dead drop NFTs on Atomic Hub or just on the Wax blockchain in the future. And that's a big potential deal, but really nothing has come out other than like the infrastructure is being put in place for that to eventually happen. So it's definitely positive news, but I don't think, again, directly looking for news to I guess the best way to put it is on a green day, I'm positive I can find good news about Wax, and on a red day, I'm positive I can find bad news about Wax. So like just looking for news to justify chart movements isn't necessarily like a great strategy in my experience. And I like to stick just to the chart, and just based on the chart, we were expecting, with especially with the divergence, with the climbing on bounce volume, like let's zoom all the way out. Look at this. Price is just, especially once we come to this last big drop here, that drop continued the sell-off. So even here, let's go all the way to the end. That would be kind of the bear. Look at this very bearish trend. Selling off, Wax price dumping, on balance volume following suit, falling down. And then once we got to around here, which is still like 13, 14 cents or so, the on balance volume starts climbing again. See? Here, that was basically the floor for us for on balance volume, but absolutely not the floor for the Wax spot price. So you can see since then, look at this, climb, fall. And this divergence in the price movement has given us kind of like the sentiment that we're looking for, like, volatile breakouts. When the pattern changes, it can change very aggressively. And so this did kind of look like a nice start to that, aggressive breakout, but with that immediately being sold off within the same day and keeping these candles closing below our currently tracking resistance line, which used to be support. We want it to like flip so that we can bounce from here and move to the next level, which is around 8 cents again. That's not happening yet. And so what we're looking at now is like we're still within the range that we were in over this last few months. Like we're still between 6 cents or so and 5 cents basically right now. So what we're looking for now is on this pullback, I want to see 5 cents hold and bounce, and then we'll try again to push past 6. But likely now you can see here we have our RSI, our relative strength index, or this is the Stoch RSI, so the SRSI. So this is also showing it's on the top end here, a little bit on the overbought side. It wants to cool off a bit, and I feel like during the next few days we'll probably see probably a slow push back down, and then potentially a push back to try to retest and push beyond this. If we push beyond the 6 cents line, again, not a whole lot of resistance before we get to 8 again. 8 being the place we topped off last time, the place we kind of like had been pushing up against before really like selling off again here. And also 8 cents acting as a pretty solid floor when we first hit here and bounced for a while, and then we spent months above this line, and then it was only here when it got really lost that it, like, again, not a lot of resistance, and that's what I'm seeing here. Look at this, and you could see a similar thing in the future once you get a close above 6, kind of closing that same gap relatively quickly back to 8 cents, and then potentially, moving back up, pushing back into the bullish trend, and then, ideally climbing back to, like, I'd say these levels would be amazing if we can get back to like 30 cents or so. Oof, good times. But first, we're still eyeing the 6 cents. 6 cents has still not been flipped into support. It's still holding up as resistance, and we are still, overbought a little bit, but we are also still seeing, aggressive climb on balance volume. So general longer term kind of like overall trend I'm seeing here is shifting more and more bullish each day, but I'm not immediately like aping all in until I start to see like a bit of a support, resistance support flip, like RS flip. And that hasn't really happened yet, even though, it looked like it was about to happen, but we did push back down, and we want to see full days closing above 6 cents before we can consider this a flip in the resistance, to support. And that is kind of like what I was trading this week in my own wallets too. Like when we saw this initial pump up, I dropped out of the TLM wax pool and I just shifted over to the wax USDT pool, and I put my range, I think, between like 4 and 8 cents, and I just added a bunch of liquidity, and I was like, cool, let it do its thing. And that did pretty well. And again, I think 4 and 8 cents, like 4 being, pretty much the bottom of our little curve here where we're like coming down and curving back up. 4 cents is way down here where we last time, bottomed out. And then 8 cents is like our next potential target here. So I set up really wide range, and I'm letting it like do its volatile movements here. Another kind of potential, I feel like this is a bit of a stretch in my imagination at least, but it is FOMC week. And FOMC week comes with volatility in equity markets always. FOMC, as we probably already remember from every time FOMC meetings happen, and I always track it and I always bring it up on Tuesdays. FOMC is when the Federal Reserve in the United States basically publishes their plans for inflation. And so right now, tomorrow, we're going to get our Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, is going to do his press conference and discuss what the interest rates are going to be on a federal level moving forward. Currently, the expectation is that they will be raised 2.5%. I'm sorry, 0.25%. And that the markets are expecting this. So even if that is the case, that shouldn't give us a huge like sell-off. But raising interest rates tends to be bad for equity prices. And so waiting for this news to actually be solidified and confirmed, generally speaking, like I said in the past, most trading is done by hedge funds and big players whose goal isn't to make money week over week, but rather to maintain wealth for a massive portfolio. And generally speaking, these events see a lot less volatility, or see a lot more volatility in the markets, because there's a lot less trading activity happening until the news is out. So what we're waiting for now is, is the FOMC meeting going to say, 0.25%? And then how is that going to affect the market? Because that should be relatively priced in with the expectations currently. Or are they not going to raise it that much, which would then pump equities, and that would probably see especially stocks, but also cryptos, climbing quite a bit again. Personally, as a trader, what I do is I close out of my equity positions. Today, I closed everything that I still had open in the stocks, and I moved a bit of my crypto into like stable coins. I still keep quite a few like DeFi positions running kind of round the clock all year, but I do, like with my active trading balances, I like to sit on the sidelines until the FOMC meetings come in. Today was also a big day for earnings reports in the stock market. Google and Microsoft reported, earnings today after market close, and both of those companies exceeded their expectations kind of dramatically, honestly, like by multiple billions, which is, fantastic as far as seeing the markets kind of rally. And those two companies were this is getting kind of deep into like stock market lore effectively, I'd say, but before last week, those two companies would have been a huge impact on the NASDAQ index, the QQQ. But last Friday, the NASDAQ restructured the way that it weighs the tech companies within its, so the QQQ, or the NASDAQ, is a stock index that is comprised of 100 tech sector stocks, right? So based on how those 100 shares of stocks move, the index then will move as an average of all of those shares. But because of how aggressively certain companies have grown, the amount that they have grown gave them influence over the index. That was, I think it was about 5 different companies out of these 100 were representing about 50% of the entire index. And last week, the NASDAQ restructured the weighting of their index so that those 5 companies don't, basically so that if Apple has a good day, the whole NASDAQ doesn't necessarily have a good day. And that used to be the case. So if you do trade the NASDAQ or like the QQQ index in response to news on individual stocks, like those 5 that I mentioned would be like Apple, Microsoft, Google, and I forget the other 2, but it's like big ones that you know of. But if you're trading the index based on just news on those stocks, you should be aware that those stocks no longer have the impact on that index they used to. And that restructure of that index also put a bit of sell pressure on some of those shares, which now with the earnings coming out here after hours, could be quite a bunch of green days coming up in the future here. We also just saw the, Bank of California is in advanced talks to buying out PacWest Bank. And PacWest Bank, when that news came out, dropped like 27%, which is insane. Generally speaking, a buyout like that would pump the share price. But then right after hours, it pumped like 40%. So that's completely irrelevant to what I was talking about. That was just fun side nonsense. But back on track here with Wax.
FOMC stands for fear of missing coins.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people say alt season started because of XRP's success in court. I do think it could be a ripple effect from that, but it's hard to say. That's like Wax didn't pump when all the other coins did. So like, why did it happen so much?
Yeah. So there's an interesting thing there, because I find it very interesting how much XRP has actually seen positive sustained price growth here. So I'm going to go XRP and Tether. You can see it did like an 80% jump when the news came out. And if you guys had missed this, what happened is the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, had sued the Ripple Foundation almost 2 years ago now, claiming securities fraud. And like 2 weeks ago or so, on this day here, so that would be on the 13th of July, a district court in New York, I believe it was, a judge published a ruling that said the aspect of securities fraud that was alleged by the SEC, saying that Ripple Foundation and Ripple XRP token being sold to retail investors, which would be you and me, people who make accounts on Coinbase, on Gemini, and then buy with money that they transfer in from their bank account. That's considered a retail investor. And the judge ruling said that retail investor purchases of XRP and, by extension, similar crypto assets do not constitute the sale of securities, or unregistered securities, rather. So the news that made this pump was basically they got a ruling saying XRP being sold to retail investors was not securities fraud. But the lawsuit, or the ruling, continues and says the sale by the Ripple Foundation to institutions. So when Ripple Foundation sold XRP units to brokerages or to institutional investors, that was unregistered security trading, and therefore does constitute security fraud. So the ruling that everybody was focused on, the part where they're like, oh, XRP buying isn't buying securities for us retail people. Very few people were focusing on the fact that the judge said that Ripple did commit securities fraud, and there is, that is going to have an escalation now and a continuation of this process. And Ripple isn't off the hook here, or at least the Ripple Foundation isn't. So to see this price kind of sustain was kind of surprising to me. The other side of it is that it is a district court ruling, which means, it will almost certainly, the SEC is going to appeal that ruling, and it will get pushed up into a higher court. and then we're back at square one. You have to get another judge to basically uphold the ruling in the future for this to actually be cemented as legislation, or not necessarily as legislation, but cemented as these assets are not securities, and therefore the SEC does not have jurisdiction to tell us how or who can buy and what we can do with them. If they are not securities, they would be commodities or equities, and then it becomes a whole different governing body within the government who would be responsible for making rules about them. And that clarity alone is fantastic. That's big progress for crypto. We know now that not everything listed on your exchange is possibly a security, and that's straight up a quote that the SEC was saying, where they basically said it's possible that every asset being traded on these markets other than Bitcoin and Ethereum is a unregistered security. And we now have the very first official court ruling saying, no, that's not the case. And that is definitely positive news for all crypto assets, including Wax. And like Lewis said, Wax didn't necessarily respond to that. Like here's the Ripple chart, and then here we see Wax didn't really do shit on the 13th. So it could be residual, kind of like the residual effect of that, because even like Ethereum did experience quite a nice run up as well on that same day, and Wax not so much. And so even that is not like, I'd buy that if someone was like, oh yeah, this is just like a delayed kind of like people jumping into Wax now that it's no longer guaranteed to be a security. But there's a lot of news, like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of news out there, and there's a lot of ways that we as humans who love to see patterns and to draw connections between things will start to do that with whatever our bias is, because we know the price went up, and now we're like, okay, what made it go up? And so we're looking for things that can justify the price going up. That already, that process is biased as hell. Like we're already shooting ourselves in the foot because we're looking for something to confirm a bias that we already have. And that's why I was saying I prefer to stick with the chart exclusively. And that comes back down to, I can always find good or bad news on a good or bad trading day. And as a human, I can always draw all these fucking patterns and conclusions of like correlations and stuff. And at the end of the day, like I'm sure some of that stuff actually does have a bearing on it, but what everybody who trades these assets is basing their opinions on, or even if you're just a bot, you are looking at this information. Guaranteed you're looking at the price information. I don't know if you're looking at the SEC or at the FOMC meetings like I am, but that doesn't mean the trading bots are. They definitely are looking at these information, at the same information on the charts here. And so sticking to the chart information, or at least weighting our bias based on chart information most heavily, is personally my approach, and has been a more winning strategy than trying to follow news or chase news. And even then, if you want to follow news, you need to pay like $1,000 a month subscription for like those services that basically give you the news before they break them, like an hour or so before it actually breaks on on Google News or Yahoo Finance or whatever. I'm not in the business of participating in that side of it, or I don't have access to a Bloomberg terminal, so I'm not I'm not seeing this price information in real time. This is probably like 30 seconds behind the actual real time information, if not more. And so all of that kind of goes with why I like to give the most weight to the chart, and also most of that weight is coming on the daily and the weekly time frame. Like, of course, I can zoom into like the 1 minute and see this fucking just go nuts. But first of all, on the 1 minute, I'm already 50% behind the reality. So this is like, this news is outdated. This information is outdated. And secondly, I'm not a bot. I can't act fast enough on shit like this. So I think the best way to approach trading, in my experience and what I do personally, is stick to the longer time frames, and then look for things like SR flip, like the support resistance flip. And that's really what I was keeping a close eye on over the last few days, was like, I want to see this close over 6 cents. And when we pushed up to like 7 cents for a hot minute, and I was really excited, like, oh shit, like 7 cents, we might pull back to 6 and then keep moving up. But within the same 24-hour trading period, you know, we went from 7 cents all the way back to close below 6. And the next day, yeah, we did make it above 6 again and closed again below 6. I want to see a day that ideally opens and closes above 6, but at the very least, the day needs to close above 6. And we're not seeing that just yet. And so with that in mind, I would say, you know, volatility is absolutely, you know, par for the course here. And volatility definitely is informed also by the on balance volume rising like this. So when we do finally get our breakout, it will be relatively dramatic like it was in the last few days. And so what I did is I set my range much wider for my own liquidity pool now so that I can catch more volatility. But I'm still biased all the way down to 4 cents because I'm not convinced we're not seeing 4 cents again. I would be more convinced of that once we start closing above 6 cents. Then I might push up and keep my range at like 5.5 maybe on the lower end. But for now, what this chart is showing me is that, you know, we are still moving up. We are likely going to pull back to around 5 cents here. By the time we get to this support line too, I imagine our band will have caught up, and we'll probably bounce off the band to retest 6 again, and then hopefully we'll close. But we'll have to keep an eye on it as the picture develops, and we can't make generalized statements of like, oh, this is the start of a bull market. You know, it looks like a nice potential, like we've been retesting a support level. We want to flip this. We have pushed above it a few times now, meaning we've, you know, cleared out a few orders, and a bit of the, you know, selling a bit of the sell pressure that would have been hovering around here has been thinned out, but we haven't closed the days above there yet. And we can't, or I can't in good conscience at least, like make overarching statements of like, oh, the next 3 months or whatever we'll do this. So we'll have to keep an eye on the chart as we always do. And I do think that we definitely have potential to push to 8 cents. And so we should widen our range when it comes to our personal positions in the DeFi trading that we do. But before we do that, let's look at some other new developments that's been coming out here on Wax. The first one I wanted to dive into is the update to Alcor Exchange. I don't know if you've noticed, but Alcor Exchange added, I got a little new tag out here, they got an analytics page finally. This is really fucking cool. It's a really quick breakdown of what's going on the Alcor swap market. And you can see, for example, the total amount of liquidity. So TVL, the total value locked. This represents, it's always the TVL on the charts, but this represents basically all the value in every liquidity pool, as well as all the value currently on the order books in the spot markets. And so you can see by a quick glance here, looking at the analytics page, a little bit over $500,000 worth of liquidity available in Alcor on the Wax blockchain. That's kind of sweet. And then we can next, it's got a little breakdown here. We got the swap trading volume, $1.2 million. So that's quite a bit of volume as well. So $1.2 million worth of trading happening. The spot trading volume, this is going to be the volume that the spot trading market, which if you click on the markets tab, this is the spot trading market, which is, you know, you can click on one of these assets, and these are orders that are currently, you know, someone has put up, for example, 469 Novo tokens, and they want 97 Wax for that. So those 469 tokens are already committed to the contract. Just like, you know, here you have someone trying to buy 12 tokens for 2 Wax and so on. And so these amounts of Wax, like all these little 10 orders, they are already in this contract, and that adds to the TVL metric, and that's the total, that's for this metric. But then you can see the amount of volume being traded. That's how many, you know, actually filled orders have gone through in the last 30 days. So 220,000, 219,000, pretty decent.
How much more the swap is used than the markets?
A whole lot more, yeah. And then you can see how much the fees have been. You know, in the last 30 days, this has made $227,000 in fees. So if you look at, you know, the TVL here, this is TVL is between both the swap and the spot market. I kind of wish it would break it down between, you know, the swap TVL and spot market TVL, but whatever. but this is quite capital efficient. So you can see it's making $224,000 dollars in fees in 1 month against a liquidity of $525,000. So that's what, 224 times 12. So this is $2.6 million that it makes in fees against 500,000. So the capital efficiency here and the amount of yield this produces would be, you could say that is almost what is that, like 500% or something. That's an ass load of yield. So it's cool, nice to see. And then here, spot trading fees. So the spot trading fees, it's quite low, but I also believe that there's only fees that are charged on spot markets on specific pairs. Not every spot market Alcor takes a fee, and you can actually find that out here if you go to the docs page.
The only ones is like TLM Wax, right?
Yeah, TLM Wax, and then I think like there's a couple other ones, but let's go analytics. I'm gonna middle mouse click so I can open this in a new page, and then you can see. If you wanted to find out about everything on Alcor, they've updated. This is a nice Git book. The way this works is if you want to read the whole thing, you can just scroll down on the right and start, turning the page with this button on the bottom, and then it'll move through this kind of like legend, and then you get like a page back, page forward, or you can just jump here on the side and take a look. So you can see like Alcor swap, and then you can see what do I want to know. And yeah, find all the documentation there. I forget exactly where it was in here. I want to like go hunting for it right now since we're
video, I guess.
This is for swap. We want to know how much the spot market takes.
I thought the market didn't take anything.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Most of them don't, but only like 2 or 3 markets do. Like I think it's USDT Wax, TLM Wax. Like there is an Alcor fee, but like Novo Wax or those spot markets, they don't take any fees. But yeah, you can read all about that kind of like on your own time, I'd say.
Do they also take fees from the swap? I thought they took fees from the TLM swap as well, but maybe I was just misunderstanding that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They take so.
Okay, so that's what I was thinking of. There's an additional fee. Like normally, all the fees go to the liquidity providers, but they actually take a percentage of that for TLM, is my understanding.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see.
Which is honestly a smart move by them. There's so much more volume in TLM than most of those other pairs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then that's actually here. The next thing, when you scroll down below all these like, you can see here how many different pools there are. There's 1,132 different pairs of liquidity on this.
All those shitcoins on Wax.
Yeah, ass loads. And then daily active users. There's quite a few, 8,000 people trading here. It's not bad. And that's average over 30 days. So that's like on average 8,000 people per day are using this market. It's not, or at least 8,000 accounts, but that's a lot higher than I thought it would be, honestly. That's pretty dope. And then down below, I really like this. So here you can now see each liquidity pool broken down. And so like this is the TLM Wax pool, and you can see like what we were saying, the 24-hour volume in this pool, $21,000. That's more than double the next one down. I guess this one's also come up a bit here. So it looks like this token, the Martia token, probably had some kind of price action happening for the market to be this active.
That's the colonized Mars token.
Yeah, so this is unusual for it to see $20,000 worth in volume, considering that in the last 7 days it's done 34,000. So almost, more than double. Yeah, so something went on in the last 24 hours that pumped this. But generally speaking, TLM Wax, they do this amount of volume pretty regularly. See, if you look at the 7-day volume, that's almost 7 days average to 21,000. The 21's a little higher, but that makes sense because, Wax is having a nice boom right now. But this is generally speaking a nice way to see like all this volume, and you can also get a sense of which pool. So I moved into this pool recently, and you can see, we're doing like $9,000 worth of volume. And if you look at how much is actually in this pool, there's like $9,000 worth of USDT and almost an equivalent to that in Wax. So it's almost turning over the entire pool in a day, like, or at least half of the pool. This is relatively capital efficient. It's pretty decent. Like when I think I'm still on my wallet. Yeah, here's my wallet. So if I look at my pool now, you can see I cut my like TLM pool quite down a bit. But here's this pool now, and so I've made a wide range. Like you see, 4.2 cents is the bottom, 8 cents is now the top of my range, and then it's still earning me $3.36 per day on my total of, what was that, like $1,200 or something? Let's see. If I zoom out, it'll tell me right here. So it's $1,307 total of liquidity in this pool, making $3.36 per day. And so it doesn't sound very impressive, but $3.36 times 365 is $1,226 in yield that this would make. And again, it's against 1,300. Yeah, exactly. So my APR for this pool is 94%. And that's in Wax USDT.
That's especially good for not being in a fucking shitcoin.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times
exactly.
really APRs,
that's why I was like, yeah. And then I made this a little wider. Of course, you can be much more tight on your liquidity, especially if the prices aren't being more volatile. And then you can see significant like yield. So, I mean, even this is, I claimed this yesterday. And since yesterday, there's, 17 wax plus another 64 cents. That's way, way more wax than I would have gotten if I had just staked this amount of money in wax, which this is like 24,000 wax or something total, which, that would make me maybe like 4 or 5 wax per day in staking rewards. Instead, I'm like at 30 wax a day by supplying liquidity here. And there's no 3-day cooldown. Of course, if the price of wax pumps above 8 cents, I will have sold all my wax. Whereas if I had just been staking it, I would still have it all. So there's obviously, a risk profile here, but you're free to withdraw and adjust these positions as you go. But yeah, this is a really cool update.
The EOS analytics, EOS is doing way more volume than I thought it would be on wax.
Yeah, and we can see the EOS by just toggling here, EOS market, and then
EOS being traded on wax, not EOS.
Yeah, and you can actually see how. Yeah, the EOS pool does quite a bit. So go back to Wax mainnet. And then, the EOS pool is like the 4th biggest pool, pulling $4,000 in volume per 24 hours. That's quite a bit considering, how much value is locked into those assets. And it looks like 4,000 is actually...
If you look at the 30-day volume and like the 7-day volume, it's up. I honestly bet that's because Wax pumped and EOS did not, and it's a lot of arbitrage trading between the two chains.
And it's very simple to arbitrage this because you can, buy, like you can use your Wax. Like I have 100 Wax in this wallet. I could switch this to EOS. I could say, okay, for 100 Wax right now, I can buy, and it'll tell me. I'm gonna click this down. Let's take a look. So this is now looking through all of the pools. There's 1,100 and something pools to look for the best route. And there you go. Best route happens to be just this liquidity pool. I would get 7.4926. I'm going to copy this. And then I could just go over here to bridge. I could then bridge from Wax to EOS, choose EOS token, and send this to my EOS wallet. Once I'm on EOS, I could then go in, and I could come to swap. I could take EOS, and there's Wax wrapped over here. I could take my 7.294, and look at this. I'd make 1.6 Wax right now. It doesn't cost me anything to bridge the Wax over, so this is a 1.62% arbitrage that I could exploit right now in probably like 5 minutes. And then what I would do once I have the Wax on the EOS wallet is I would just come back up to the bridge, and then I would go EOS to Wax, send Wax, and I would receive 101.6 Wax into my wallet instead of the amount that I started with. So that type of opportunity is going to drive quite a decent amount of volume into those pools. And it absolutely makes sense that when one of those tokens has a price action event happen, up or down, that volume will kick up as people arbitrage across this blockchains. Very cool. So if you're unaware that these opportunities exist, they do exist. And it's very, very fun. And then also, if you don't want to participate actively, like if you're like, I don't feel comfortable bridging back and forth and trying to like exploit this opportunity, what you could do is supply liquidity to Wax EOS on the Wax blockchain, and then also to Wax EOS on the EOS blockchain, and then effectively be exposed to supplying the liquidity to the people who are actively arbitraging. So you'd still kind of do not terrible if you tried something like that. But yeah, this is a really, really cool step forward.
Like a lot of people don't know about IBC, and
amazing.
it's like kind of incredible. A feeless bridge that's like instant. Like I don't know. I don't even understand how the technology works, to be honest. But
you want to see it?
It works well.
Should I do it? I could just make 1.6 wax here and just show you. I just do it for real.
You can do it on the.
Oh, one second. Let me answer this phone call. Paul's out right now and wants me to answer the phone. 1 second.
Be right back. My screen for a sec.
No, sorry.
I'm looking at NFL Rivals stuff over here. A new set just dropped in NFL Rivals, which is my favorite NFT game at the moment. I shouldn't be saying my strategies in their Discord. People are buying up the card that I said I was going to buy. I was like, I'm going to buy a Jimmy Garoppolo because you need 4 of these cards to play the next event from the new set. And my strategy is just to buy the absolute cheapest ones you can. And then if you can win the new cards, like it pays for the cards you paid for and then some, as far as like I'd be getting an epic wide receiver or an epic linebacker is what the event is for. You need 5 or 4 cards. If you look at the price of like an epic linebacker, it is cheapest one is 30. So if I can get some guys for like 3 and I get like, 4 of them for 3, that's 12. And then I get something worth 30. I'm moving up in the world. I currently have the kicker.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's go back to your thing. A small Rivals.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. A little intermission there. Okay. I'm going to sign into my Trezor or my, what is this, Ledger wallet.
Could you just do it on the 100 wax wallet?
Oh, I was going to do it just on my wallet, but yeah, let's just do it on the 100 wax wallet. Fuck it. That is so here we go. I'm going to connect.
Boulder real quick.
Oh, you want to see something cool?
Rivals. He said, I need to learn how to play NFT Rivals. Do I need to know about sports to play, or can I just play the numbers like fantasy football? You don't really need to know how sports play, but it's not like fantasy football. It's like NFL Blitz. It's like an arcade football game. So it is based on actual gameplay and not just stats. Although, like, you can track the stats for certain players. That's not really how the game works. We also don't need to know how football works. Like, it's a pretty simple game. Like, I don't think Max is very familiar with the rules of football, and Max has no problem playing Rivals.
It is pretty fun. So here, our TLM pool is a little out of range. I'm going to close this. So close 100% of our TLM pool in the wallet. Yoink.
I will say, I think Boulder's told me he has problems with like repetitive motions with his fingers all the time. And if that's an issue, you might not want to try to play NFL Rivals because there's a lot of physical dexterity in your fingers, and that's the entire game, and you'll end up doing that over and over and over to like pass the ball and run stuff. So if you have issues with that, I don't know. You can download it for free and try it though. So don't buy anything, just try it out. And if it doesn't bother you, then maybe try buying it, but you can free to play.
Yeah. So you do need a wallet on EOS to do this, by the way. So I'm going to do it between a wallet that I already own rather than create a new EOS wallet at the moment. But let's take a look what else we have in here. Some USDT. We can leave all this alone. Let's just do it with our we'll do like 35 wax and see how we do with just 35 wax, and we can do an arbitrage trade here and make some instant profit effectively. So we'll do 35 wax as a counterpart into EOS token. And oh, is this some kind of data issue? Let me I'm going to refresh the page. I have not seen that error before. All right. I'm going wax into EOS, 35 units. And it's going to find us a route. This is a little slow, but it's because of, I'm going to copy this just so I have it in my clipboard, but I should get 2.6228 EOS on the Wax blockchain right now. So I'm going to say copy it. Let's go. Swap. Now I have 2.6228. Yep, just like I expected. I'm going to come up here to the bridge tab, and then I'm going to say from Wax to EOS. So I'm going to connect my wallet, anchor, and I'm going to use the same wallet that I just used, the DeFi wallet. There we go. DeFi wallet. And again, we started with 35 wax, and I'm going over to EOS, and here you need your EOS wallet. So I'm using Anchor again. You could use your Wombat. Wombat's pretty easy to create Anchor to create an EOS wallet, but you'd want to sign into it. So there we go. And then I'm going to choose EOS as the transfer token, and I'm going to take all of it. So copy and transfer. It's going to ask for a signature from the Wax wallet to send. I'm going to say yes. Sending. And then down here you can see waiting for the transaction to be irreversible. So what that is basically if you click on the balance in your wallet, it'll take you to a block explorer. And if you look at the block explorer, the transactions you've recently made have this little timer on them. It's because there is an amount of time that it takes for irreversibility. So we're waiting for this to happen to count down. And basically what that is, when we talk to the block producers, for example, when people were pushing blocks and then the chain would, be incorrect and have to roll back, this is an amount of time that the rollback can't go beyond, effectively, is kind of the idea there. So all we have to do now is wait. So all we're going to do is wait.
You can make an EOS wallet with the Anchor app. I think you can pay. Can you pay with credit card directly with that? I think they have a way to buy it without having to source the EOS.
Yeah, you can make a Anchor wallet's pretty great for me. I'll show that next, because the next thing I want to show off today is the updates to the Cloud wallet, and that's going to involve creating key pairs, and I use the Anchor wallet to do all that. So it'll be the same process as what you would do on EOS. Both Wax and EOS function the same way. They're both built on top of EOS.io, which is the framework of the blockchain. The whole stake to CPU, net, RAM, that kind of a thing. That is effectively the same on both chains. Although
Boulder says you can use
it's a little I'm not 100% sure if you can, but I feel like possibly.
Anchor, that's what you just said. Yeah, only credit card.
Oh, you can.
That's
fuck yeah,
that's the
that's
problem
great.
with a lot of people on Wax have difficulty sourcing EOS, because if you don't already have an EOS wallet, how do you source the EOS? So
that's true.
It's an easy way to get in. The way I did it is through KuCoin, but I'm hearing mixed results on whether or not you can still use KuCoin decentralized. I think Tune said he's not able to use KuCoin anymore without KYCing. I don't know if they're cracking down on that. But
that's lame.
For me, I was able to. There's also kind of crappy withdrawal fee if you're
Coinbase
I guess you could use Coinbase if you're able to use that. But you can also just withdraw from I don't know, except Wax doesn't trade on Coinbase, so that's the issue. Maybe Crypto.com, you can trade Wax for EOS on Crypto.com and then withdraw the EOS to seed fund your wallet.
Yeah. I used the Wombat wallet to make mine, and then I paid the $5 to get access to all the keys and let them do it. So there's another way. Wombat's pretty straightforward too. But here you can see we're reversible now. And the next thing, it'll prompt me again here in a second. Once it moves to the next step, it should prompt me to sign again from, I believe, my Wax side here. So there it goes. Let's see. There it goes. Calculating up much quicker this time. And I'll let you know. Hopefully it'll pop up. Yeah, okay. So it is popping up. Anchor right now. It says loading. There's a transaction fee of a small amount of EOS because I don't have staked EOS that I've rented at the moment. Whatever. I'll pay it. So Anchor has this weird, or EOS has this weird thing. Even if you've staked your assets, it still is. You still basically need to rent them or borrow the CPU usage from Anchor. So I'm gonna I just canceled on that because I want to not pay anything for this because I actually have EOS staked. And the way I can do that is inside of Anchor. If I change over to EOS, let's see. I'm going to first change over to share my whole screen so you can see what I'm doing here with Anchor.
What's going on, Crack, Knack, Nork?
There we go.
I also think your audio is set to, like, I think I'm just hearing it through the speakers.
There, this is my Anchor wallet, and then I can go to resources and CPU rent for one day. I'm gonna rent like what do I want, like 1.5 or something. And I already have this staked, but I do still need to like tell it I want this. So there you go, submitted. Now I should be able to sign this next transaction. So I'm going to say complete transfer, and it's going to redo this last step. And this time it should prompt me, and I should not be charged anything because I should have the CPU to cover it. Ugh. Oh, here you go. You can proceed without fee. Let's do that. Of course, when I'm trying to show this, it's fucking like screwing up, huh? Oh, why is it not letting me do it?
Your screen is super zoomed in, by the way.
Oh, is it? Oh, it is. 1 second.
And Boulder said there was not a button to press to try process without paying.
There we go.
That looks right.
There we go. Let's try this again. So I'm going to toggle over to EOS, see if it shows up there. Connect wallet, Anchor wallet. Looking for myself here, sign. I'm max connected on both these chains. Okay, there we go. Have I already gotten them? Did it actually confirm? I feel like that would be weird. Let's see, connect. I'm going to connect both of these again. Actually, I don't need to connect it. It looks like it's confirmed. Do I actually have the... Here, I guess I can follow same step here. Take a look. RBC. Oh, these are Wombat payouts. Nice. No, it did not go through yet. So I need to connect this. It needs to be from the wax side. I need to get it to fucking do its thing here. So I'm not like super used to doing all this here on here, but I'm gonna rent like, I don't know, how much do I need? If I just rent 10. Transaction submitted. There we go. Now I have the available CPU. Oh, I was buying milliseconds. Okay, that's why it didn't fucking work. Okay, so now it should work. And now I should be able to say complete transfer, EOS wallet. I'm going to sign in with my EOS wallet. And there we go. Okay. The reason I only put in 1.5 early is because I thought I was renting based on the EOS value, not on the amount of time billed on CPU. So now it should let me do this. Of course, now it's like being difficult and not launching my Anchor wallet for some reason. So, you know, definitely still a beta tool. Copy request link. So it says, I don't know why it's not bringing it up.
Does anyone know if Wombat Wallet gives you a free EOS transactions? I do not know about that.
It does. There's an amount of free transactions per day that you do get in your EOS wallet without having any EOS. So yes, there is an amount of them. Yes. So we'll go wallet, balance. Let's see. Where would I go to paste this? It says, let's see, broadcast a transaction. import or paste a transaction string here. Paste. Import this. So this is like I'm trying to get around, it not opening for me. That the transaction. Oh, okay, I see. Import a transaction. String. Is this what I'm looking for? There it is. Okay. So that was the workaround for Anchor wasn't launching for me. But this is the transaction string, and I'm basically providing, you can see here, IBCWL wax withdrawals. I'm providing a proof that I own this wallet. And this is what it's supposed to be. It looks like a fucking mess. But yes. And then here, provider is me. So now I can sign this transaction. Not sure why the IBC was kind of like being annoying about it. But complete transfer, it should now see that this is done. So yeah, let's see if this will bring it up. So you see here where it says there's copy requested link. I copied that and I pasted it into my Anchor wallet. So now if I toggle to EOS, I should have, let's connect Anchor. I should have gotten my 2.2 whatever units, even though the bridge is still kind of like not seeing what it wants to. 2.26. I mean, I can. I'm gonna have to like troubleshoot this in a minute, but I can still do it the other way around since I actually have liquid EOS in this wallet.
Chris says broadcast. I'm not sure what that means.
Oh, okay, that could be it. Let me try that. So trigger request must be signed. Yes. So I did sign this. Sent. Sign, and then. Okay, so now that it's signed, should be able to. No, possibly not. Yeah, okay. This is something I'll troubleshoot this in a second, but let me go the opposite way too, because I do have enough to do what I wanted to do. So again, if we're going back here on Wax, our DeFi wallet, what we had done was 2.6228 EOS. Oh no, I don't actually have enough, so I can't actually do the whole swap back. That's annoying. Let me see. 2.6228. 35.5, so it will give me back more than I started with, but I need to finish this transaction first. Let me, I guess, I don't know, rather than troubleshoot this on like stream, I'll troubleshoot this one on my own time, and I'll just show you the next thing I want to jump into, because it is definitely like, I mean, first of all, I know that I'm not like out the value of that transaction. It's not like lost. I still have it. It's in the IBC, and it can only be claimed by my wallet. It's just that I'm having a hard time broadcasting the claim transaction. So
you just need to stake more CPU.
No, it's not even that. It's that when I click here, finish the transfer, and I sign in, it's just not like moving to the next step from here. It's like signing in, get out of here. It'll do this, and then it'll prompt me with like, oh, sign from Anchor. When I click, yeah, use Anchor, like here, sign manually. It's saying wants to sign. If I say launch Anchor, for some reason, this part it's getting.
Try changing the endpoint.
That could be. So the endpoint can be adjusted up here. Oh no, that's that. I guess I could adjust the endpoint within my wallet, actually. So that would be wallets. Right here, tools. And I want to go into advanced, change setup. Manage blockchain. Setting for EOS. And I'm using Graymass as my current endpoint here. So what I could do is, that's almost certainly it, because you can see here I'm having a unable to connect to EOS blockchain, so the gray mass node seems to be fucking up. Good call. That on the endpoint. So I'm gonna say, let me look up a different like endpoint here. EOS. The endpoint URLs. Let's see if there's one that's got like. I always use like chain list. I could do this in like a heartbeat on any of the EVM machine or EVM like blockchains, but for EOSIO, I'm a little less competent. I don't know the whole ecosystem of like. Here we go. API designs. Here we go. Endpoints. Where's the? I'm looking for a place that shows me active endpoints and their current ping rate. Something similar to Chainlist. Does anyone know of such a thing on EOS?
I remember the one on Wax. I wonder if that also measures EOS. But also, here, let me see if I can find it in our. I think it's in our pinned resources.
Let's see, EOS.
Different Wax APIs. Yeah, Wax. Try EOSIO.online/endpoints.
This is not the worst thing to troubleshoot on screen. Antelope tools endpoints files not
EOS.antelope.tools/endpoints.
Let's see. I'm going to type it into Google. I guess Bing is my thing. I'm going to go Google first. Type it into Google. Okay. EOSIO dot n or dot, what was it?
The new one is EOS.antelope.tools.
This dot tools.
And then it should just have endpoints as one of those. EOS mainnet.
EOS mainnet, yep. Welcome to
and just do /endpoints at the end of that.
Endpoint or endpoints?
With an S on the end.
Loading. There we go.
Boom.
So these ones have a few errors kicking up. This one does not. Mainnet graymass.io. I believe that's actually the one I was already connected to.
Should be because graymass makes.
No, I was at EOS, so I can change this now. So what I'm going to do is take this endpoint, mainnet EOS.io, copy that, come back into my Anchor wallet, and in Anchor I went to tools. I'm sorry, I didn't want to. I clicked on this the blockchain I was on, and I went to manage blockchains, and then I clicked on EOS. So here, manage blockchains, and then the settings icon under EOS, and then here I'm going to change this to a different endpoint and say save. Now I'm not seeing the little red flag anymore, so we should be able to now push this transaction the way we've been trying to. Thanks for bearing with me. I know this isn't like the most exciting, but honestly, it can be really stressful when people run into these types of issues. So maybe not the worst type of like thing to watch somebody do live.
It's good to know how to do it. So especially now that this will kind of tie into the next thing we're doing, which is exporting your Wax cloud wallet or web cloud wallet, they call it now, keys into Anchor, which would allow you to choose your endpoint, whereas like you're kind of stuck with whatever the web wallet's using. So like in the future, if the web wallet goes down, you'll be able to change the endpoint in Anchor and be able to push transactions when other cloud wallet users cannot push transactions. So I feel like that could actually be.
So it's still not launching it for me, but I can try. Let's see, user canceled. That's fine. So I can still try to push it manually again. So again, I'm going to go to wallet. And now I'm going to try to push this one more time here. So the way that I did that last time was with tools, advanced, and then not appearance. Wait, where did I did that? How did I get to that last time? Let's see. It was
GB says it's good to know, learn a lot. Glad you're learning something. We're also learning stuff too.
All right.
Do it live.
Oh, here it is. Broadcast transaction. It's on the left side here. So if I click this, then I can say import ESR payload. That's what I've copied into my clipboard from the. So now I should be able to click this. There we go. That's the transaction I'm trying to sign.
That's
going
a
for
huge
it. Yeah, that's like a signature hash to prove that I own that side of it. So this must be signed in order for it to be broadcast. Okay, have I not broadcasted then? I think I just did. So I'm going down. I'm going to pop back open here. I should have sent that transaction recently. I'm going to refresh this page because it should see that I broadcasted this. It's a wrapped Bitcoin.
On Polygon?
Yeah, on EOS.
Oh. I didn't know they had wrapped Bitcoin on EOS. I don't use EOS at all, though. I'm pretty not knowledgeable about EOS.
Yeah, PB. I like to get paid out for my Wombat stuff as in Bitcoin. I don't see the transaction having been broadcasted though. Yeah, here, PBTC token. I guess I got some DeFi box token too. I don't know how I got those, but cool. And I still haven't gotten my. So now I'm not sure why it won't let me move beyond this step. The next thing I would do is honestly like restart my computer, since there may be something keeping it from, like when I click launch Anchor, like something confusing it between this step and it actually like
going Anchor is relatively buggy.
So maybe aside from, instead of like canceling this, I might just pull up Anchor, broadcast that same transaction manually, and possibly it was yelling at me because I canceled. Oh, okay, so here we go. Error. CPU time isn't good enough to push the transaction. Now we're getting somewhere. I see what's going on.
Now we're cooking with gas. Let's go. CPU error. We understand that one.
We'll fix this. Damn it. So again, I'm going to go to resources within Anchor here. I have a point. I've bought some CPU, but I need to rent some more. I'm just going to rent like 50 this time, since we're talking about milliseconds. And I'm renting this. It's not costing me anything because I have staked EOS that is basically being used to rent this. So say rent.
EOS does not make sense. So you have to have it, stake it, and that doesn't automatically give you CPU. You have to use the
you don't always have it. Yeah, it's not just auto available like it is on Wax. It's like, even though I have it staked, I have like 12 EOS staked in this wallet, but it says I have no CPU because I still have to rent the CPU.
That seems like a convoluted way to do it. I definitely prefer the Wax model.
Yeah, this was like their solution to basically like scaling the EOS network.
That makes sense. Like, you have a bunch of accounts that are staking a ton but not using it, and then it makes like the CPU cost more for everybody or whatever.
So the network itself doesn't necessarily have, unlimited CPU resources. Let's see. What is this one?
Wax just has wild hardware that allows it all to happen. Fenris does make a good point. Says, whenever I see a guy like Max confused with the interface, imagine how the average user feels. I agree. The average person is probably not real.
That's why I was like, maybe I should do this offline, because this is going to get really fucking technical.
I don't know. What if somebody runs into the exact same problem? So it's good to have evidence of how to solve the problem.
Fair enough. So rent again. Let me see. Rent. I want to see this number go up. It's weird that it's like getting hung up. Stake, unstake. Yeah, so you have 17 EOS staked here. So it's definitely a little bit, quite a bit of net as well.
I feel like net is generally not what you use it for.
Oh, there it is. It's saying insufficient resources to do that transaction. Let's do another
CPU. Is that what it's saying?
Rent. Come on, give me my CPU.
I have an EOS wallet, and I don't think I've ever used it for anything. I just like claimed the keys because I wanted the Polish dog, the name. So I have the Polish dog on both Wax and EOS claimed the same private key.
it was being a little finicky, but we got what we fucking wanted. So I got more milliseconds of CPU. Now we're still going to fucking get this done right. So here's how I'm doing it. I'm hitting claim. It's going to run through its percentage here, and instead of me closing the thing that won't open, because that will close Alcor's understandings here when I say sign manually, when I click launch Anchor, this isn't launching for me. So instead of closing this, I'm just copying this link and then opening Anchor in a separate window, broadcast transaction. I'm pasting the ESR payload into here, signing, and now manually forcing it to bring this up. Sign, and now we got has insufficient RAM. Okay, progress. We now have enough CPU, but not enough RAM. Cool. Let's buy more RAM then. Same goes here. I click out of here. I need some RAM. I'd like to buy, let's see, in EOS. Okay, I'll buy 0.5 EOS worth of RAM. That should hold me over for the rest of forever. By completing this transaction, I agree. Following terms, yes. Also, just like on Wax, I can sell the RAM again. So if I ended up buying too much, no big deal. So say buy. It is being a little slow. That might be my endpoint being slower than I'm used to. Nice. Big nice. Damn, babe. You know what I like. Damn. You know, I love a good deal.
Fenris is also saying, I'm glad you struggle because this is how I learn, because like they're going to run into all the same problems. Though if you just know how everything works and speed through it, then you'll miss all the troubleshooting they would need to do.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to try and buy some more. It said error a second ago. Oh, wait. Did it actually go through? Hard to say. I feel like my endpoint is kind of fucking slow. Every time I do something, it's taking a long ass time. I'm going to swap over to a different endpoint here. Mix the one I just added. Mainnet now has a fucking issue. There we go. So hey, we're seeing why I'm running into this shit. At least it knows that it has an issue. I'm gonna change over to. I'm also gonna use HTTPS. I didn't realize I was using the non-secure HTTP format. Do something. So let's use this one, and we'll get there. So this is gonna be how I do it. So again, I'm pulling up my Anchor wallet. This time I'm going into tools, and I'm going into advanced, I believe. Oh no, sorry, tools wasn't the spot. So again, I'm on my wallet. I'm going to click on this EOS dropdown, manage blockchains, settings wheel here, and then here I'm going to change. So you see here we're on mainnet graymass.eos, and here is the one we're actually using, and you see, oh, it's a bad gateway at the moment. That's why it's fucking up. That's why we're sitting here beating our fucking head into the wall, doing everything right. So I just copied this EOS API, check mark. It's working, great. Pings are quick. So let's copy that. And then what we did is inside of Anchor, in here, I'm going to replace that and save. And now we are connected to a different endpoint again. Now, inside of Anchor, I need to buy some RAM, so wallet, or resources rather. And oh, look, it actually did finally go through. It's just kicking up errors because the endpoint keeps doing bad gateways. But look, we have RAM now. Progress. Okay, let's try again. We're going to say complete transfer. And keep in mind, this is a beta design. I don't want this to reflect poorly on Alcor. This is 100%. I'm using shitty gateways. I didn't have enough CPU, like blah, 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 like lots of issues that are user issues. So this time I'm going to try again. Launch Anchor. Is it going to do it for me? For some reason, this might be on Anchor. I don't know, or on Alcor. I don't know, but it still won't let me do it. Again, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to leave it open so that we're not going to get closed out of there. And I'm going to go to broadcast transaction to do this manually. It's the ESR payload, which we copied. Paste, submit, sign transaction. And
success. 7 bridge. Let's go.
Let's go.
So real quick, I'd like to address that's a little off topic. You said, by the way, I've bought like 100 wax of RAM and it's slowly decreasing over time. What's the reason? Like, getting more NFTs will decrease your RAM if you like mint NFTs. It's basically like contract data is what RAM is used for. So if you like vote in a DAO, that will take RAM out of your
selling
RAM.
NFTs, broadcasting transactions to sell like all your open sales, all of your liquidity pool positions, all of that stuff is costing you RAM. And when you close those, you get the RAM back.
A lot of times it's released though. Like if you list an NFT,
Yeah.
it takes the RAM and then it's released back to you when it gets purchased. But while the data is being stored in the tables, they need to. And some things have permanent data storage. Like if you vote in a DAO, you spend some and you can release some, but it doesn't release 100%. Sometimes they need a permanent record of what happened on chain, and in that case, you will not get all of your RAM back. So RAM is a resource.
Minting assets will eat your RAM as well. Like those assets basically are permanently taking up the RAM.
It does release
I guess they could be burnt. Yeah. But here we go. So here we go. IBC has sent me 2.6228 EOS. And now when I go onto the swap and I connect to my EOS wallet, we've done everything we wanted and we can finally do our arbitrage. Whoops, I'm trying to sign into a EOS wallet here. So we'll go back to EOS. And there we go. And there it is. The EOS is in there. 2.6228 is what we had. We had bought this for 35 wax on the wax blockchain side. We can now buy 35.583. It is routing through this pool. Swap, because we've already spent all this time getting our okay, let's see if this will launch it this time. Yay, it's launching it for me. Swap successful. 35 point this, and now I'm just going to bridge it straight back over to wax. So we're going from EOS, connecting with this wallet. Yoink, max collected. And we're going to deposit into wax, connect our DeFi wallet, and we've just made 0.58 wax and learned some valuable lessons about how to troubleshoot the IBC bridge and communicating with your Anchor wallet endpoints. That was actually quite tech heavy, so it fits for today. And we're going to set our token to wax, and I'm going to say max. And there you see 35.58 whatever. I'm going to say transfer, sign manually, launch Anchor. This one is saying, here we go. Since I'm sharing my whole screen, you can actually see this for a change. IBC.wax will retire. So I'm basically burning the wax token that's issued here. And then I'm going to be claiming those again in the next transaction. So signed this. Now we're waiting for immutability, same as before. But I wanted to say with ease, we were able to do this, but with relative ease. I mean, it hasn't been that long, and we did get to learn a few things about how to maneuver this bridge. But with relative ease, if this would work flawlessly, you can move, back and forth, and then basically access liquidity that's available, outside of just the Wax blockchain. Because once I'm on EOS like this, once I've pulled my money into EOS, I don't have to use Anchor. I could have done this swap on DeFi Box. I could have done the swap, I could have sent the EOS to my Coinbase wallet, and I could have done like a trade there. So it's actually not too difficult. And then the real exciting part about this IBC is that it does not cost me a fee. So when I get my Wax back on the Wax side, I will see 35.5862746 wax hit my wallet, and that is going to be a profit, immediately realized profit of 0.583 wax. Of course, if we had deeper pockets and we had much more wax to do, we could do this with 1,000 wax at a time, and then maybe take a couple wax, that would be like maybe 15 wax that we could make without a huge counterpart risk. And the trade would settle, within the amount of time it takes to do these bridging back and forth. If you're a very serious arbitrage trader, you would maintain balances on both blockchains, and you would execute the trade simultaneously and then do the bridging to rebalance your positions. But we're not that serious. But yeah, this is really fucking cool, and a really, really kind of good example of what this IBC kind of bridge can afford us on Wax, because not only did I just use Wax to basically buy EOS, then use EOS, use Wax on the Wax blockchain to buy EOS on the Wax blockchain, bridge it to EOS, and then use the EOS to buy the Wax back, and now bridge the Wax back. It also gave me the ability to move value from one chain to another chain to access liquidity or possibly tokens. Like if I wanted to trade PBTC, like the Bitcoin token, there's not a lot of Bitcoin options on Wax, but I could bridge my Wax over to Alcor, through the IBC, and then use the IBC, the Wax on the Alcor side to buy straight into Bitcoin or PBTC, which is a wrapped Bitcoin on the. So, and then here we'll see. In a second, it's going to ask me for a signature. This signature is going to be from my Wax blockchain side.
Holder has a question. He said, how much of RAM and CPU does it cost? You're talking about for this specific?
This was so I have the stake in my wallet. That was free, and the RAM, like the CPU, doesn't cost me anything. You just have to rent the CPU to use it for 24 hours. But you already own it. You're just renting it from like the people who are the block producers who actually put it up. And now I'm having the same issue, so I do think this is an Alcor issue. But so I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I need to launch my Anchor manually. I need to toggle back over to the Wax blockchain. I need to switch this. And here's a little preview for what's to come. Look at this. I have my .wham wallet in my Anchor wallet. Yeah!
Description, long hair. I haven't seen long hair in a while.
Hey, been crushing it.
You still winning poker tournaments? I remember you'd always be like, "Yeah, I'm like in the middle of playing a poker tournament, listening to you guys," and we're like, "Thank you."
Yeah. So here you can do the same thing with my Wax wallet. I'm back on my Wax wallet. I'm going to broadcast transaction, import ERS payload, pasting that, and signing it, and there we go. Now it's forcing that transaction. Same deal here. Signature sent, and success. Now, when we toggle back over to the Wax blockchain and we connect to our DeFi wallet, we should see that we have just made a little profit on an arbitrage trade. 39 point whatever. So this is, we had a little bit of a balance is what that's suggesting to me. But if I look at the actual Block Explorer, we can see 35.58, exactly what we wanted. We got back our initial 35 Wax plus the arbitrage gain from trading it over on the EOS side of things. So again, when the big kickoff to this whole debacle was when we looked at the analytics page, we saw that the fourth most active pool is Wax EOS. Not a lot of people are necessarily interested in EOS on the Wax blockchain, but this is what the reason is, because there is opportunities where the prices are different between both blockchains, and we can move between the blockchains freely to exploit those price differences and capture that arbitrage opportunity.
I will say you do have to have a bit of starting capital to have an EOS wallet and to have a CPU.
Yeah, and as you just saw, you do really need to know what the fuck you're doing if you run into stuff. We figured it all out just by dicking around, but like a lot of people mentioned in the chat, if you hit the wall like this, it can be very stressful. You can feel like your money is lost and locked somewhere. It is not, but it is. It does feel like that. And
the arbitrage opportunity exists. Wallet exists. So if you can't figure it out before the arbitrage 100%. Opportunity goes away, you can lose money on it.
So that is a really good point. Arbitrage trading is competitive. That opportunity that we just took exists for everybody. The fastest person to take it wins. And so, if I'm mid bridging and someone else closes that gap, then okay, great, the gap's closed, I'm fucked. Which is exactly why I was saying serious arbitrage traders will maintain balances on both sides of the equation, do the swap transaction simultaneously, buy EOS on the Wax blockchain and sell EOS on the EOS blockchain into Wax at the same time to hit the arbitrage. And then once you've already got you've already hit the mark, then bridge back those assets to rebalance the amounts that you're maintaining on both chains. The same is true if you're arbitraging between different exchanges. You'd want to keep a balance on both exchanges. and then when the opportunity exists, you act on both exchanges simultaneously, and then just rebalance at your own time afterwards. So the real time sensitive part is making the swap. In this case, it would have been the time sensitive thing was making the swap of EOS into WAX on the EOS blockchain. The whole bridging our EOS into EOS, that wasn't necessary for us to actually get that arbitrage opportunity. The arbitrage is the swap. So if we can do the swap and then do the bridging on our own time, that's the ideal way to do this. But again, this market is immature, and these opportunities, while they are competitive, there's not a whole lot of competition. I mean, I just did this and I struggled for like 15-20 minutes or something before I was like, okay, finally it's working. The opportunity is still there. And that wasn't a small opportunity. That was about 1.7% in arbitrage. 1.7% doesn't sound like a lot, but that's basically a 1.7% profit with almost no risk. Because the risk is, getting your funds locked somewhere. And since we're doing this on a DeFi side of things, like we are always the custodian of our funds, which mitigates the risk of, the exchange player basically getting froggy and fucking around. But yeah, that
so do you want to do
is really cool.
The key thing, or do you want to finish up the moves from the DeFi wallet?
Let's finish this move really quick. So I just want to add a little bit more liquidity here. So look, this was our YOLO play, and look, we're actually in range now. This was way out of range last week, and I'm gonna just I'm gonna take out the liquidity we have in here. I'm just gonna add the WAX side of our stuff back into here. So I'm just gonna say remove this liquidity, and then I'm gonna create a new position that is going to take into account our entire balance of USDT as well as our balance of WAX. So I'm going to refresh here. This should have cleared out just now. Yes, it did. So now I can say add position, WAX USDT, and I'm going to say all of my WAX, it needs a counterpart of 3, but I want to go a lot tighter. I'm going to start by just doing 5 in both directions, but like I said, our range is probably going to be wide now. I'm going to go 4 and 8 cents. And then let's take a look at how close we are to having what we need for that. Pretty close. And then what we need to do now is what I'm going to do now is, because I'm lopsided I have more WAX than I have USDT. I'm just going to set my range to what I kind of wanted initially, and I'm just going to start hitting minus on this side until I get up to like my almost $7. So, instead of just clicking it a bunch, I'm just going to scooch it down like that. And so that's a little bit more than I have. And there we go. I have 6,956. It wants 6. No, that's not quite enough. Need to go a little bit higher still. 6. There we go. Okay. So now my range is going to be 0.39. So I can actually go a little bit above this. Reset that. And there we go. This is very close to what we have. Let's see if I go higher, or I guess lower rather. Yeah, that'll still be in range. Okay, so now we can set a range of, minus 28% and 16%. And this is going to take almost all of our liquidity. I'm going to add that. Let's go. Sign this transaction. And let's stay in this pool for the coming week. And so if I refresh now, we'll see I have a second liquidity pool open here. There it is. And we're in range. And let's see, by default, it's already telling me, like, given the current volume and my current position, I'm making 3 cents per day with the current volume in this pool. And look, we have 3 cents, and we have almost $10. It doesn't sound super impressive, but if we do the math on this, 3 cents per day is going to get us $10.95 in a year. We don't even have $10 in here. This is over 100% APR. And we're not exposed to shit coins. We're exposed to WAX and USDT. It is worth noting at this point, again, that USDT token is issued by Alcor, not by USDT, the Tether Foundation. So it is a wrapped asset. and there is risk that Alcor is, either malicious and steals the counterpart, or that they are clumsy with their security and they are robbed, similar to a bridge exploit. So all the major DeFi exploits that you hear about in news, like hundreds of millions of dollars being stolen, the way that those are stolen is through this type of contract, where there is a bridge and there is an asset that represents a different asset on another blockchain. In this case, the USDT token represents USDT on EOS, and USDT on EOS is actually native and issued by Tether. So keep in mind that these tokens are exposed to the risk of Alcor's security practices. That said, Alcor has been around for a long time. They've been developing pretty actively, especially in recent history, and they've had way more value than this locked in their protocols at the height of the last bull market. If they were going to rug pull, they won't do it right now. They'll probably do it at the height of the next bull market. That doesn't mean that accidents don't happen, or that people aren't bad at security and that they just like blow their fucking they get their keys stolen and then game over. Just be aware that those risks do exist. And then I guess I wanted to talk a little bit about the new updates to the cloud wallet. Should we dive straight into that, or should we take a break with something in between to kind of like clear our minds about it? Let's clear our minds a little. Yeah, cool. Let's do that. Let me jump back to my webcam. I can also then take a bite of this burger that Paul just brought me. Oh, whoops. What the fuck? I thought I just changed back to web. Oh, it's web, not webcam. My bad.
All right, excellent point. Neon, will you show some other time how to bridge wrapped wax UST? By that, do you mean...
Absolutely.
Like
Wax USDT is the Ethereum wrapped USDT.
Yeah.
I can show you that. I'm a fan of that existing, but it is also worth noting that it is issued by the Wax core team. If they get their keys exploited or stolen, you would also be subject to the same loss. And their bridge charges 1% transaction fees.
Pretty expensive.
1% is a fucking ton of money. Like if I'm moving $1,000, that's $100. That's $10 that they want for me to move, and that's not including the transaction cost. But I will show you how to do that.
Let's see. We can give away one of these Dogzilla Woof packs. I think this is Buzz King, right?
It is.
Buzz King is a member of the community with their own collection with what is this, corgi style dogs, right?
Mm-hmm. I got myself a schoolgirl and a schoolboy corgi, a Wen Lambo corgi. There's like a Wen Moon. There's a few blends already. It's a cute collection. I like this. It's also really exciting. I think I spent like 50 wax to buy like one of every NFT he's made so far. And I think he does it in a combination of like hand drawing and using like a little bit of AI to like fill in the gaps. But it's cute. I like it. Plus, Buzz King is a member of the community, and I'm definitely on board with supporting that kind of stuff. I'm excited for the packs. I think the pack is going to open for it's corgis riding different like motorcycles. It says the rider pack. So I don't think it's openable just yet, but I'm ready for it.
I wonder, let's see if we can find the templates that'll be in there. There's a Vespa, there's a Harley, there's a Ducati, and a bicycle. I wonder what the rarest one is.
Yeah, I think you need the two non-animated ones to blend. I think you blend into the animated one.
Oh, maybe you do this plus this equals that.
I think that's how it was for like the Moon and the Lambo one I did.
I think I like the Vespa one the best. That's pretty cute.
Yeah, it's cute. I think it's cute. Plus, I think this is his first attempt at making like a pack. So I'm excited to see if it works right, or or if we have like a broken pack on our hands. That'll be fun. Oh, Eric, that was your splash time? Yeah, I bought a bunch on the secondary market, and then I was like, oh shit, the drop is open for these, and I just bought them all again from the drop.
I guess while we're taking our break, announcements is this Thursday I'm working, so I will not be able to stream. So I think we're going to just do Off the Rails on Friday. So if you like our zany Off the Rails videos, come join us on Friday. And we might also, I'm in the talks with Breakman right now, but they have a gap. They need a streamer to stream at what the frick is the name of that? NFTopia, the like wax convention
Oh,
from
nice.
3 to 4 p.m. Pacific time, and that's generally when we stream. So maybe we'll start at like 2:30, and then they'll raid into us, and we'll run around NFTopia for an hour. So we might be doing Off the Rails and NFTopia, but also I haven't confirmed that with Breakman, but I thought I'd mention it here that you boys might be hanging at NFTopia. We don't have a booth this time, but we also don't have anything to promote at our booth. Like we don't have any drops or anything, so just be hanging out if anyone wants to hang.
I wonder if the NFTopia badges that you get are as cool as the neon ones we made last time.
Impossible.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I give it a benefit of the doubt because I don't know, but I also made some artwork for Mike at Waxdow. If there's no banner ad playing, the new banner is something your boy made for them. Just he posted in his Discord. He's like, "Man, my banner sucks." It's like with all these artists that use my platform, maybe somebody could make me one. And I just like for fun in like a couple minutes, I was like, "Here's something cool," and it actually turned out really fucking cool. But I needed a break from I was doing some other thing, and I was just like, I need a break. I'm gonna do some Photoshop. But it's cool. If you see a cool little Waxdow banner with like a spiral of like neon and in space and stuff, it's very much like my art style. But it was just for fun. Mike does so much for the community. I figured, why not? Fuck, this burger's great. Yeah, the next thing I want to cover here in a second after the Scrubfish is you can take your Wax Cloud wallet and import it into Alcor now. It's really cool. And you can do it in a way where you can use it as both the Cloud wallet or as Alcor, and you can like manage the same wallet from two places. Or you could just remove it entirely from the cloud and only use it on your own. Really cool update. Definitely worth checking out if you have a cloud wallet and you've wanted to be the custodian of the private keys, but wouldn't be able to. Now you can. And it's a really clever way they did it too. Instead of letting you export the keys, they basically let you sign the ownership to a new set of keys. So
I think Max meant to say Anchor if he said Alcor.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I get those two confused a lot lately. I think I wrote the title for the show. I wrote
stream was the wrong one. I had to change it.
The Anchor Exchange.
Yeah, you could do it into. I mean, you could probably do it in Wombat too. I think you can import private keys there. I don't really use Wombat. Really, any wallet that works on the Wax blockchain. So I also didn't know you can use Wombat wallet anytime you can use an Anchor. Like you can just click the Anchor button and then pop up Wombat, which I was unaware of until recently. Which means I could have used my Anchor wallet on the Wombat game and did not, which I'm kind of bummed with because I'm using my web wallet, which I use for like nothing else. All right, we're going to do the Scrubfish giveaway and get back into it.
Yeah, now you can.
I'm also in the Discord complaining about myth stuff, but I'll save that rant for another day. They're trying to fund basically a Hearthstone ripoff with myth, but they're asking for hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of myth. It's like, what do you think happens if that gets funded? Like, they're just going to dump all those tokens. And last time they dumped less than that amount of tokens, and it went from 40 cents to 20 cents. So it's like less of a liquidity dump caused a 50% price impact. So I'm like, I don't really know if that's the best idea for holders. And as a holder, and I'm going to vote no for that shit.
Dude, I swear people behind these tokens have no idea how liquidity works. Where they're like, oh, cool, the token's worth this much. It's like, yeah, but there's like no fucking liquidity. If you sell X amount, then it'll be worth nothing.
The other thing I don't like is the game is using AI content generation. So like the story of the game is going to be written by AI, which is like, if you're asking for fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars, hire a writer. Like... Like, even if it wasn't just about the money, it's about, like, the way they're trying to use the money to use AI to generate the content. Is like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't know, personally.
Nah, I agree. I'd vote no.
Congrats to Be Wicked. What it might do, though, is they might end up whaling into it to vote for it and then dumping even more because they, like, I don't know. DAOs, like, the more I see DAOs being used, like, less I think it's a good idea to have them, especially with immature tokens with, like, a small community that's brand new. because like people can do shenanigans like that and then basically pay themselves. That's basically what Alien Worlds does: is people buy a shit ton of tokens, funnel that TLM back into their own projects, and then build value for the projects that way. Which is like, I don't know, I guess it's a use for the token, but it's not good for the token necessarily. Like the money is all ending up flowing into a different project that makes the other people money, not the holders of that token. All right, let me send this prize, and Max will get back into stuff. We should probably just log into our giveaway wallet on the screen that I share so people can see me doing this every time. Every time I'm like, I'm alt tabbed, but I would be able to stop doing that disclaimer if I just sign the frick in on my other browser. Oh, one of my cards sold in Rivals too. I sold a. I'll show that off. I'm actually proud of this. Proud of this trade I made.
Oh hell yeah! Let's see it.
I was also stressed out about it because I thought I fucked up. I bought this thing and then the floor of it just tanked after I bought it. All right, let's show.
What rarity? Yeah, what was it?
It was a legendary, which I don't normally buy legendaries because I'm a budget player. But can we zoom in here? Here we go. Oh, well, you can see this, but I just sold Anthony Richardson for $269, which there's 37 fees. The fees are expensive, but I got 231 myth for that, which is about $44. But this is a card I pulled out of a pack for free, and he is the worst of the legendary quarterbacks. Like literally one of the worst quarterbacks in the game. I do not want this card. He is not good to use in the game. I don't use him in the game. He's been on my bench since like June 30th or something for almost a full month. He's just been sitting on the market waiting to sell.
How did you think you fucked up if you pulled him for free?
Because I bought someone to replace him.
Ah.
I bought this guy who is the best rookie quarterback. Let's see if I can get there. You can see me listing him to lower the price a bunch of times because I was worried he wouldn't sell. Draft pick number 1, the number 1 draft pick, Bryce Young in the entire NFL draft. I bought for $235, and at the time the floor was like $300 for quarterbacks. So I was like, oh, I'll just list him. I'll buy this one and then list the other one above because he's the cheapest quarterback. And then right after that, the floor dropped down to below $200. People were selling the one that I'm trying to sell for like $180, and I'm like, I'm not going to fucking sell my guy for $180 when I'm trying to get $230 for it. So it took a full month of just waiting, but that was $235, and I got back $231. So for a four myth loss, which is like 80 cents, for under $1, I got the best quarterback in the game for trading one of the worst quarterbacks in the game. So I'll fucking take it. And I was worried that wouldn't work out because I generally don't spend $40 on NFTs in this game anymore. That's like above my budget for spending on this game. So it was a risky move. One of the riskiest trades I've done in a long time. The most recent trade I did was I bought this guy for 38 cents, and he got me into a tournament that I'm about to play top 200 in. That will give me a wide receiver that'll sell for like 40 myth, probably maybe 50 myth. So like that was a good move. But they just announced the new one. You need 4 cards. So I'll have the one I unlock plus this one plus another one I unlock, but I need one more card to participate in the next event. So the next thing I want to do is what I'm doing here is just look at the floor. I got to find somebody in the new program, though.
Damn, you play this market like a fiddle.
I will probably be getting Jimmy Garoppolo. The reason I have not bought Jimmy Garoppolo right yet is because I could pull him out of my pack tomorrow, and then I'll be stuck with the thing that sells for the least and not be able to recover my myth. So after I open my pack tomorrow, I'll see what guy I get. Assuming I don't get the kicker I already have, which would fucking suck because then I'd have to buy another one. I'll buy this guy. And I don't know what I'll do, honestly, if I don't, because these guys are really bad. Like, I like to buy the floor, but this guy's speed is 85. That is dog shit for running back in this game.
Dude, the fuck? I have like non-NFTs that have 85 speed.
In 94. And they just upgraded the difficulty of the AI, so it's much harder to get 2-point conversions. And like, I might not get top 200 if I'm missing 2-point conversions with these running backs. So my goal for that is to get the least impactful positions, which is why I got a kicker. Kicker doesn't change your score spread at all. And then wide receiver is the second best because you can put them on special teams. They don't even play, but you can see the floor for wide receivers is $6 probably because of that. And the goal is just to like throw people in that you're not even going to fucking use so it doesn't affect your thing, which is why the kicker was great. Offensive linemen are also great for that. It doesn't really matter, but these are also 40. So I'm probably going to have to go with the quarterback, which quarterback is not the highest impact position. Like wide receiver is actually worse. So I can play with a rare quarterback. It will be worse than my current quarterback, but I still think I can get top 200 with this guy. So that's my goal. So I don't want to pull a kicker or a quarterback tomorrow. Anything else is good for me.
The fuck? That sounds great. I have not tried cheesy jalapeno bacon quarter pounder. Paul got me this on the way back. He got me 2 Big Macs because they were two for like $5, which is like, damn. Now I feel like a fat ass because I just ate 2 of them. But
a lot of Big Mac.
That's okay. I'm like a 6'3" person. Like I weigh 250 pounds. I can put down 2 burgers.
I want to go get Big Mac now that you just said it, but
yeah, shit was great. It was such a good deal. I'm also a sucker. I'm a sucker for a good deal. Yesterday I went to Wendy's and I had like their ghost pepper chicken sandwich. It was not bad. I mean, I really like Wendy's, so I mean, as you maybe know. Also, just a side note: new Futurama episode started yesterday. I love that show. The new episode was fun. It wasn't like one that's gonna like make it to the top like 10 favorite episodes of the series, but it was fun.
Do you want to share? Right, let me work on a.
Yeah, let me go back to like a full screen here. Full screen share. All right. Next thing I wanted to show off here. There's a Medium article. I'll share it here. Let me toggle back over to you guys and paste so you can actually read about all the shit that I'm about to talk about. But Wax just updated a feature in the Cloud Wallet where you can now, I guess you can read the article. I don't have to read it with you, but we'll just go over the Cloud Wallet here. So you can now go to your Cloud Wallet. So here's my Cloud Wallet. And on the left side, if you go down to settings, and then down here, account claiming is a new option. So we can click on account claiming, and there's 2 ways to claim an account, a soft claim and a hard claim. And what this is it lets you add private and public key pairs, or I guess it lets you add a key pair. Let's not be crazy. It lets you add a key pair to your existing .wham wallet. And the difference between soft and hard claim is soft claim will add a key pair to the wallet, but it'll also keep the existing permissions on your Cloud Wallet. So you can keep using your .wham the way you've always used it, just with like the web sign in with your email address and all that stuff. But it will also give you the ability, as you can see here, if I bring up my Anchor wallet, I can also boom, now bring it into Anchor and have, see here, OJUB2. I can use it with both Anchor and Web Cloud Wallet if I soft claim. The hard claim is kind of, it's the same thing, except for it will then remove the Web Cloud Wallet's ability to use your .wham. So you can fully separate your private keys. Effectively, what this does is you're adding a new set of private and public, like you're adding a new key pair to the wallet, and then you're telling the Cloud Wallet to remove itself from access to your wallet. So soft claim, you're adding a new key pair to the wallet to basically have a new key that gives you permission to use it, but you're also keeping the existing key permission so you can keep using it as the Web Cloud Wallet. And hard claim is you're adding a new key pair to the wallet and you're telling it to remove its ability to be accessed from the Cloud Wallet. So if you ever were concerned with the security of the Wax team maintaining your assets, if you're somebody like Burst, whose .wham wallet just fucks more than anything I've ever fucking seen, but you suddenly were like, okay, I don't want all that value exposed to a cloud service that maybe I don't get to control the private key component of this, the hard claim would be the option for you. You could then create a key and use that key to basically take over the wallet and then block the Cloud Wallet from having access anymore, at which point you become the sole custody owner of the wallet, and you can effectively own your own private keys. I really like this approach to being able to offer control over your wallets without actually giving an avenue to access private keys, because that would absolutely be a risky thing. If instead they had some sort of way for me to export my private key, I would be concerned that that export would be exploitable and that somehow somebody could export somebody else's private key. This still does not ever let you touch the private key that they created for you. It only allows you to add another key. And then again, the difference will be, you want to just add a key, or do you want to add that key and remove the existing key? So that's what we're seeing between these two. And so The way this works is really, really simple. You can use an existing wallet, but I would recommend making a new wallet key pair. And so what I would do is I would go into my Anchor wallet, and what I have done already is, and you would come here into the Anchor wallet, and you'll go to the tools section, and under tools, there is a manage keys under security here. And if you click there, you'll see here is a generate key pair button. You just click that. It brings up this key generator. Go ahead and click here, and it'll automatically create 2 different key pairs. And then if you click the eyeball, it'll show you the private key for both of these. And every time you click this, it'll be a new key. So, I mean, I'm not compromising anything by showing you this. See, now there's 4. If I click it again, now there's 6. If I close out of this and I click generate keys, it's going to be generating new wallets over and over and over again every time you do this. So, these wallets obviously are compromised because I'm showing them off on stream. But what I would do is I would take this, I would say copy to clipboard up here. Then you can open up, I'm going to close this window because that actually does have private keys in it. Then you could open up something like Notepad and just paste from your clipboard. And this is how it pastes. So it'll tell you public key, private key, public key, private key. And then you could save this text document somewhere safe, preferably offline. But either way, you've generated this kind of as a hot wallet. But this is how you would effectively generate keys if you're trying to make new wallets on Wax or on any. I guess this is a key pair you could use on EOS as well. But this is a key generator built right into the wallet that you already probably have. And so what you would do is once you've created a key pair like this, I'm going to just click out of the generator. It says, yeah, you sure? Yeah, that's fine. And then what you can do is you can take these keys, and if you wanted to add, for example, if you wanted to be able to bring, like I did, if you want to be able to sign into your .wham wallet from your Anchor wallet, like for example, if I come up here on Wax, I'm signed into this one, I can log out and check this out. If I say log in, I can say Anchor, and even though I'm using Anchor, I can now choose my .wham wallet and log into the WHAM. And like Lewis said, if the cloud wallet were to be down, I could just do what we did earlier when we were troubleshooting. I could change my endpoint, and I could adjust. I could still use my .wham wallet, even though people using the cloud wallet service may be not able to use it. So there is already a decent reason to do this. Another great thing is some people have used their WHAM wallets to create their NFT collections. And, that would mean that, the NFT collections ownership keys and all the royalties and everything are always associated with, this online key. And let's say you started a collection, it's gone well, and you'd like to migrate that onto a cold storage wallet, like on your Ledger device. You can now do that using this type of this new addition to the cloud wallet. And so I guess before I go on, let me show you how you can find a key on your hardware wallet. So if you do have a Ledger, like I had one a second ago. Here it is. So if you do have a little Ledger device like this, you sign in, type in your little passcode to unlock the device, and then you'd need to, for Ledger, you need to install the EOS app, and then you'd launch into the EOS app like this. And then to find a key pair on here, the way I've done it in the past is I would go to Blocks or any Block Explorer really, and come up here and say, let's see, like add account, and then I would say log in with Ledger X or S, and then here you can see these are the different indexes. So if you look at, for example, my wallet on Anchor here. If I look into, if I look into my tools and I look at my account here, let's see, like manage keys, you can see I have all these different keys here, right, that have been imported into this wallet. But here, these ones have this like additional information next to them. And this information is basically pointing to the deviation path that basically is, as using a hardware device like this requires setting up a seed phrase. And as we just saw, just creating a wallet doesn't require a seed phrase. You just generate key pairs. This is a wallet right here. So these key pairs can be generated from a seed phrase, and there can be unlimited new keys generated from the same seed phrase. And that seed phrase, then can be used to restore hundreds of different wallets, thousands, literally infinite. And so the way that it does that is by each seed then would be not looking just as a seed, it'd be the seed and the deviation path to derive a specific private and public key pair. And so when you look into your wallet in the manage keys section here, like I am, I'm going to say, that's fine. These are the deviation paths that derive. So if I mouse over here, this is my max collected. This is, what is this one? Something else, Mythic Golder, new textbooks, yield farming. These are all wallets that I made using my Ledger device, Jurgen's NFTs, and each one of them has a different deviation path. The way that you can find, so you don't necessarily need the public or the private key, you only need the public key. The private key should always stay on your hardware device. And so if I wanted to, so I know, for example, with this Ledger, I have already used 0, 1, 2, 3, or whatever. But let's say I do, if this is your first time, you could just say 0. But this is not my first time. So I'm going to say 20, for example. And then I can open, what is it, HCI, Nano S, connect. And then here, it will show you your public key, which is from the seed phrase on your wallet with deviation path 20. So this is my, the seed phrase, this is the public key for the private key on my hardware device for specifically deviation path 20, because I typed in 20. You'll see that this will change. If I go back, I could do 21. And, oh, please unlock my device. It's unlocked, yes. Yeah, okay, well, I get confused because I had it open and then didn't close it. But yeah, that's how you'd find your public key for your hardware wallet. So if you wanted to move your cloud wallet over to your hardware wallet, again, the way that I go about doing this is on Blocks or any Block Explorer, come up here to log in. If you don't already have an account, it won't say, you just say add account, and then you'd say, log in with your hardware wallet, and then you would set your deviation path. So by default, 0 is fine. So if this is going to be your first one, 0 will always be the one that it looks at right away. Easy peasy. And then when, again, I'm going to do, let's say 22 for this one. And, oh, right. Okay. Let me open the EOS. There you go. And then there you go. And it'll give you just the public key. So I'm not worried about you guys seeing this, because without the private key side of this is useless to you. But this public key is what you use to create new accounts. So if you were going to create a new name wallet, if you wanted to go on WaxDAO and buy a .ftw name, you could use this as your .ftw name. And then when you go and to recover it, you would come into your Anchor wallet. You'd come up to wallets up here, and you come in here, and then you say import a key. Yoink. Let's back out of this again. So wallet. Let me you go manage wallets on the wallet drop down. I haven't yet. I was just gonna show. I guess I could. You know what? Fuck it. I will add my public key to my web wallet just to show you how this is done, because this is really fucking cool.
Make sure you're not going to blast your private keys anywhere on the stream.
Oh, I'm guaranteed sure, because they don't ever leave this device. It won't. It's you'd have to do something pretty elaborate to make it show you the private key on the screen. Yeah, a hot wallet, you'd be easier to fuck that up. But so let's do that. So I'll just do it for you so you can see how it works, right? I'm going to start off actually by removing this wallet then from Anchor so that it doesn't see it. I'm going to start that. I'm going to go to Tools. I'm going to go to where is it here? Create account, manage keys, and I'm going to look for my. So let's see here. This is the active key, so you can see this is a hot wallet. I'm just going to click the drop down here, the little caret, and say delete public and private keys. Again, delete public private keys. It should clear. I don't know. That's like a, oh, you know what? It's probably because I'm on the wallet. Let's see. Well, generally that works. Just having all sorts of trouble today. Let's see. Manage keys. Is it still there? Is this still my? Yeah, it is. Well, honestly, it doesn't really matter that there's a hot version of it because you can add multiple wallets can be used to sign transactions. Like you could share wallets in this way too. So let's say you and your friend both want to use the same .wham wallet. You could both have your own public private key pairs that both have permission to sign transactions. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, I'll try one more time here. I don't want to export it. I'm just going to, I mean, yeah, I could, let's switch to this one.
That's just kind of an important company wallet, you know?
Yeah.
It's the one that mints all of our shit. If you do fuck something up, that's like one of the last private keys we want to share.
That's true. Cannot be deleted by one. Oh, okay. So, I know why. And it's because I am signed in. Yep, here. I'm signed in over here. So now that I'm not actively having an active session, now I should be able to delete this. And that might take a second to kind of like catch up. So again, you could delete it, but again, I don't need to delete it. I could use a hot and a cold wallet. So I'm just going to show you how to add a cold wallet key to your existing. So if you wanted to use your Ledger device to manage your cloud wallet, this is how you do it. Ready? Break. Okay, so here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to start off by going onto blocks. I'm going to do the sign in, add account, Ledger, and I'm going to use deviation path 20. Okay, and then it needs me to do this. Okay, signed in, and then here we go. This is my public key. The private key is on here. So I'm going to copy this public key. Done and done. Now, next step, I'm going into my cloud wallet. I'm going to account claiming, and I want to add the ability to use my .wham wallet to my Ledger, my hardware device. I don't want to also remove the ability to use it as the cloud wallet from the app, so I'm going to use soft claim. If I wanted to migrate the wallet, I would do this. This is going to be the same steps, but you just choose hard claim. There's one extra step, which is after we'll basically go through all the steps here, and at the end, the last step of the hard claim is to remove permission from the existing web cloud wallet. So we'll do everything up to there, and we won't do that remove. So what you do then is, I'm going to refresh just so we're on a fresh page here and I don't get any errors. And again, it's settings on the left, account claiming, and I'm going to say soft claim. So here it says it needs a new owner and active key. I'm using my hardware device, so I'm going to say both of these. Oh, and then first thing it sees is it wants this formatted differently. So what I need is, let's see, how to format this thing is wallets, and then it is create account. And if I say EOS public key, it says it's a valid key. I want to see the EOS. So what I'm doing right now, I'm not really explaining. I'm just kind of like talking to myself. You see how the format of this is pub underscore K1. That's a newer format to these keys. And then you see how here on the keys that I generated previously, the public key format starts with EOS 5. So EOS 5 this is the same thing as the EOS 5. It's just formatted differently. So I need to basically I want it to show me what this public key is, but formatted in the way that I want to actually be able to use it. Say, let's see. So let's see. There's probably a utility to do this. Let me find that. So go from K1 to EOS 5 format. Let's see.
Chris says on Anchor you can convert.
Okay, great. I actually really like Anchor has a lot of these tools. I should probably start by looking there. So let's take a look. I'm sure I'll find it just by going through here. So we'll look through the tools. We're looking for key converter. That most likely is it. It wants a private key. I don't want the private key. I want to convert my public key. Convert private key. So let's go back to tools and see if we can find a public key converter. Manage sessions, smart contracts, advanced, premium name bidding, key validator. Let's see this one. Still looking for private keys. I'm not trying to get into private key stuff. Let's see, permissions. These are all public keys as well. Let's see. I'm going to go back to my search result here and see what this form says. Sure, we'll take your cookies. Utility format keyless. Okay, let's see. Aha, here's one. This format. There it goes. So you see, it toggled it to the old format. The key formats. And all I did was, all I did was paste. It starts as pub1k whatever. I say format. And then that is happening on blocks.io wallet utilities format. So at the bottom here, there's a utilities section. And then if we click on the utilities, here's the format key section. So bam, format, this is what we need. Copy that. And now I'm going to go back to my cloud wallet, and I am going to use the same key as active and owner key. That's usually what I do when it comes to my hardware wallets, because the private key is, I'm not trying to split the ability to have a different owner. I'm just the owner, and the active user is both the hardware wallet. So now that I've done that, you're going to say verify and sign transaction. Then you will be prompted by the cloud wallet, and it will say, here it is. Do you want to sign? Oh, I don't like always, but we'll say yes, approve. And the next thing it needs is your two-factor authentication code, and it will email you a two-factor authentication code. So it's double secure. So I'm going to start with the email one because that one has less of a timer. 0, what is that? 270080 is what it sent me. And then I also have to go to my authenticator app, and that's like where it'll constantly refresh a auth code here. So I'll do.
I feel like if we were safer, we would put like a 30-second delay on the stream. Someone is a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, these keys won't even be like usable once. So I'm going to say approve, and then here it goes, soft claim for the account. And the last few times I did this spinning wheel never really got anywhere beyond where we currently are. So I just say done. That's it. Now it has added the permission to the public key that I just gave it, and the private key for that is on my ledger. So now to bring that into my Anchor wallet, I would come into Anchor, I would come up here to my wallets, and I'd come to manage wallets, import accounts, and then I want to import existing account and enable ledger support because I'm using the ledger, and I'm saying load from ledger. And then by default, it sees my 0 deviation path. So max collected is what I have on 0. But what I can do now is say settings and load the account from deviation path 20. Load account. There it is, my WAM wallet. And I want to use my active key. Import. Done and done. So now you can actually see I have, where is this? There it is, and it says /ledger. I can also use a hot wallet. So I could literally bring that wallet in as a hot or a cold wallet. But yeah, now I have the ability to use ojub2.wham from my ledger without ever having to sign into my cloud wallet. So if I come here and I say connect wallet, I can now click anchor, connect, and if everything works right, here it is. I say yes, and look at that, confirm. I sign yes, and
Poppin' Stock says I can't wait to try it. Lose my wallet forever.
Well, that's the nice thing. So what I've done here is I've only linked it to my. I can now sign. So you see, I just signed into here, and I use my ledger. I can use my ledger to sign these transactions. If I lost this ledger or I like the device broke, I don't have the seed, I can still check this out. Log out, connect wallet, cloud wallet. I only did the soft claim. So look at that. I can still sign in with my cloud wallet too. I'm signing into the same wallet now, and I'm able to sign transactions from the same wallet using both my hardware device or my regular cloud wallet app. If instead I wanted to only be able to use my hardware device moving forward and wanted that added layer of security where I'm now, no longer exposed to the security practices of the Wax team, who are maintaining the private side of, the private key side of my Wax cloud wallet, I would have used, instead of this soft claim, I would have used the hard claim. The steps would have been exactly the same, but the only difference is when you sign the transaction here, you are adding permission to your wallet and removing permission from the cloud. Whereas all I've done with the soft claim is added permission to the cloud. There's also a way actually to hard, like, what is it called? Here, if I go back to the Medium article, you can restore full control of your wallet by coming here to settings, account creation, and let's see, co-own. This is not the one. This is how we just did all this. The hard claim here, it's telling us how to do the hard claim. It's literally the same steps. And then finally here, link accounts to restore full control to basically just the cloud wallet. And if you're using a non-blockchain account on MaxWire, you notice the option to link an existing blockchain account. Oh, that's cool. So now, because they've actually updated the cloud wallet, that it's free. There's no longer a sign-up bonus, but it's free until you want to do non-free transactions. And then now you can actually link a wallet. So let's see how that one works. I haven't actually tried this on my own yet. Really? They can't just walk by, Marcy? Wow, rude girl.
You won't allow it.
Let's see. If you're using, okay, so actually you can't do this unless you've removed the keys. So because my wallet, my cloud wallet, I did a soft claim. Because this cloud wallet account already has permissions on ojub2.wham, I can't. I don't actually see the option to do this in the last step. But if you had removed them, if I did the hard claim and removed this, there would be an option to link the account back, and then I could give it permissions basically to, use my wallet. And I'm not 100% sure if this would work, but in theory, I think you should be able to even recover a non.wham wallet into a cloud wallet that way. But that is speculation because I haven't actually tried it. Ultimately, I think the big deal is, your ability here to not only, export and cut the Wax Cloud wallet out of your, ownership side of your NFT assets, but you can also just do the soft claim, add ownership permissions to your, your anchor or your own private key, and that is super useful, even if it is just to be able to do things like change the endpoint or access stuff while the Wax Cloud wallet is down. So this is a really, really cool update. I've honestly been waiting this for years. Like for a long time, it was like, oh, it's cool that they let you make a wallet, but like once I understand what I'm doing, I want ownership of the wallet. And now I can. And so this is a really kind of a big step forward for the Wax Cloud wallet, in my opinion. And also, it makes a lot of sense with the way that they're moving forward. Where it is, they're making it possible to create a wallet without having to put up the resource costs to create a new one, and then giving the user the ability to actually link their own existing wallets into this cloud interface, which that's also really cool. So being able to, in the future, potentially use like first.ftw through the cloud wallet, that's interesting to me. Like, I'm really excited for this. So I wanted to show that really quick. And again, the kind of like to go over that one last time here briefly. If you log into your web cloud wallet, on the left side, you'll see, right above dark mode, which you should always toggle on. You'll scroll down and you'll see the settings option. You want to click settings, and on the bottom option of that, you have the account claiming, and then understand that. Oh, and you can see here the like last claims that I made. That's actually really cool. It shows that. But here on the left side, you'll have the soft claim, which again is adding a permission to a wallet that you control to be able to also control your .wham wallet, but maintaining permissions for the cloud wallet. So basically, the way your cloud wallet currently functions will not change at all. If you do the soft claim, the only thing that does change is you'll now also have the ability to access that same wallet within your own self-regulated environment. So you could then use it inside of your Wombat app, for example, or inside of your Anchor app, wherever you want, because then you can just import the wallet the way you would import any wallet by bringing in the private key. And then the other option here, the hard claim, this is the way where you would come and you would be able to add your own account or your own private public key pair to your existing web wallet, and then simultaneously remove the ability of the web cloud wallet to interact with your .wham anymore, making you the sole custodian of that wallet, and basically the first and last point of failure, meaning that, just like Pop and Stock was saying, if you lose your keys, that's game over. If you've done a hard claim, you are the first and last point of contact. So really, really cool update here. I'm very excited to be able to use my .wham in my own, on my ledger now, or in a hot wallet. That's really cool. But the other thing I'm kind of stoked to try is creating a new like .wham or a new cloud wallet, and then trying to import one of my existing hot wallets, so that, for example, I like playing blockchain brawlers, but they've recently transitioned to only working with the cloud wallet. All of my blockchain brawler assets are, on a wallet that isn't the cloud wallet. And this would be a way for me to make that wallet accessible to the cloud wallet. And then I could just sign in to the wallet through the cloud wallet app and not have to move my assets around. So really cool conceptually, like maybe a little high concept of why you'd want to be able to do this, but you do want to be able to do this if you get further along into like your crypto journey, and you do want to take like control. This is 100% the ability to take more personal accountability and more personal ownership of your assets if you want to, and 100% if you don't want to, you don't even have to know it exists. This is a beautiful implementation in my opinion. Anything that you upgrade your application's use, it should be invisible to the people who don't care about it, and this absolutely is. So this is invisible. You don't have to know anything about this. If you don't want to use it, it doesn't affect you at all. But if you do want to, now you have this option that you didn't have before. And so it's kind of very simple to do, like you saw me just do it a second ago, but it is also really, really streamlined and very much like not a thing that is, front and center for anybody who maybe doesn't understand what's going on here. So well done, Wax team. I think this is a big step forward for the cloud wallet. Again, like I know quite a few people got into Wax without understanding crypto stuff, and made these accounts and have pretty substantial collections, and potentially even have made their own collections, like minted their actual collections under their web wallet, not necessarily knowing that, oh, now your collection is potentially, has this point of failure that it wouldn't have if you were the only point of failure. Like the cloud wallet, obviously it's very secure in the sense it's never been hacked.
5% means everything.
yeah. It's like, it seems like a small deal. This is a big deal to me, I think, at least. But yeah, I'm excited by this. And if you want to try to do this on your own and you're running into issues, absolutely, like reach out in Discord. I've done it a bunch of times now. I've linked it to my hot wallet. I've linked it to my cold wallet. I think I've also very rarely seen people discuss how do you pull your public key from your ledger, because that took me a while to figure out when I was first trying to make my ledger wallet for Wax, and it's not hard once you know what you're doing, but it's not super intuitive to be like, oh yeah, let me go sign in, add account, ledger, and then be like, okay, here is where you then check your deviation path. And And like I said, you can make thousands. You could do a wallet at, this like 110,000, and this will be like the private key for 110,000 up.
Pull up a grubfish.
The only thing is, you got to just remember which deviation path you made, because like I showed you earlier, when you came to up here to manage accounts and you added that wallet back in, by default it looks at deviation path 1. So if we're looking at importing an existing account from my ledger, it sees and then it's like, oh well, that's not the one I want. Okay, well I have to go to ledger setting and let's go to deviation path 1. And test wallet, that's not the one I want either. Okay, let's go to deviation path 2. RTS mining NFT. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't use that either. So like you have to remember which path you use, so don't go crazy with it. But
I think this is really fucking cool.
Yeah, and then it'll actually tell you the path up here too. So in case you end up using a wallet that doesn't use, I think the deviation algorithm here is BIP16, which is an open source algorithm to deviate to basically generate these different these different pairs from the singular seed. But there's multiple algorithms that can do that. So if you open this into a different wallet that uses maybe like a different algorithm to derive deviation paths, this will actually tell you what the actual path is. And so you could just copy this into your next wallet and it'll find the same account. That's pretty fucking advanced wallet shit though, that most people never ever are going to care about.
I mean, most people in our community don't even have hardware wallets.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and if you do, you're not going to do all this extra shit.
Exclamation point neon if you want to join this last giveaway, and we'll probably end the stream. We've been talking about tech stuff for like 2 hours and 20 minutes, so I feel like we've probably hit the threshold of people are still able to learn.
In one ear, out the other, if we keep at it.
Valor and Vellum says, Max, you are a beautiful implementation. Princess Phoenix says, I understood like 5% of what you said, but 5% is everything, and that's kind of sounds like
5%.
Where's my Joe Rogan?
That's pretty great.
5% means everything. 5% difference is astronomical.
It is definitely a little tech heavy, that wallet stuff, but I guess the takeaway is, hey, you can now access your cloud wallet on your hardware device or even just in your existing like Alcor, the Anchor wallet. You could do this to add a public private key pair to it, and then import the private key into your Wombat wallet, so you can use your Wombat app to access your .wam wallets. So there's a lot of cool utility in this that might actually be something people are interested in. And again, I'm in Discord. Hit me up if you're like, hey, I'm trying to do this and I didn't really understand 90% of what we talked about. I can walk you through it and do like screenshots and do step-by-step and stuff on Discord too.
The biggest utility for the average user, if we're going to be real about it, is the web wallet interface goes down. It won't be able to push transactions. You could then push transactions through a different endpoint through Anchor, but like most people probably don't need to do that to be most of the time. But there are times where it would probably be nice to have a backup for your web wallet. So if the web wallet's not working, then you have a different interface to sign in through. That'd probably be my like realistic recommendation. But otherwise, I don't really see why most people would want to use that. Valen said we should check out DesignerCon. Where's DesignerCon? I was just excited if you come to the LA Comic Con because that's close to where we live. So I'd be way more down to come to a meetup if. I
will definitely come. I think DesignerCon's in LA. I'll have to talk. My friend goes there. It's like a toy convention. He loves it.
Anaheim. So that's
okay.
Close-ish. LA Comic Con's in like downtown LA proper, I think.
Last time the Comic Con was in Anaheim, wasn't it? It's at the convention center by like Disney.
I thought it was.
That's where SIGGRAPH was too. I went to this. SIGGRAPH is like the VFX convention. It's like E3 for visual effects.
Is it in January then? Would it be 2024? Comic Con.
Oh, they have NFT stuff. I might see about getting tickets. I used to get all these tickets for free as like a professional in like the visual effects industry because I worked on like Marvel movies. That like working for Marvel stuff gives you access to every convention for free as a professional.
12 miles from where we live. The Los Angeles. Oh, it's WonderCon. What the fuck's they show me WonderCon when I typed?
WonderCon's another like that's like another like custom toy making con, I think.
That one might be more up my distance from where I live, Allie. Los Angeles Convention Center, is that in Anaheim?
No, oh wait, I think is there a different one? Now I'm confused. If it is or isn't.
It's 12 miles away, so yeah, I think LA Comic Con's in LA proper, not Anaheim.
Okay, fuck yeah.
But I don't think Priscilla's going to that one, she's saying.
Ah. That's also in Anaheim for WonderCon.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll make our way up to.
I'm interested. I love like Anaheim. That's like a 45-minute drive.
It's definitely better than San Diego for us.
That's totally doable.
I'll also commit if Max and Paul are willing to drive. I'll go to any of them. I'm poor right now.
I'd be down to drive.
I can't afford the gas to be
for the one that's in Anaheim. Hell yeah! Even if we don't go to the con, at least to go to like to a meetup and meet like Priscilla and them in person, I'd super be into that.
Yeah, I'm super down. I would have been down for the San Diego one. It's just a little out of the way for us.
Yeah. Paul
had
also
some Nathan Fernaren was there, and he's buying. Here, I can post some pictures. He's ripping packs from that DC thing. Oh my gosh, we post too much in our Discord. I forget the name of it. It's the NFT DC cards though, where it's like an NFT mixed with a. Here we go. Found a picture.
Pad coin. I have to look that up.
He ripped a Lex Luthor. The HRO
That's
is what it's called. And then he also said he bought himself a couple of boxes, so he got a few Black Adam boxes.
Fuck, dude. I want to scoop a few of these packs just to rip.
Yeah, Nathan was there, and I think he met up with. I think we have a picture as with like Sia Soli, Priscilla, and I think Crispy was there too. I was like, damn, this is like all the fucking homies in one spot. We definitely missed out.
Yeah. I wanted to for like to play us out on today's stream. Let me pull up. There's Paul wrote a musical. I'll play the first song for us because it's really fun.
Yeah, there's Nathan Fernaren, from right to left, Nathan Fernaren, then Crispy, then that's Yamster in the middle there with the Venom shirt, and then that's Sully, and then that's Priscilla. But yeah, looked like it was a good time. Honestly, that picture is really nice too. There's like kind of looks like the sun is setting behind you, and you got palm trees. Like, that's a nice picture. Let's see if I can find the other card that Nathan pulled. He pulled one. He thought he might have pulled a mythic, and I was like, I'm not sure. Oh, here, this is a.
Look at the sausage fest. Yeah, I feel like that's Comic-Con in a single sentence. Stinky sausage fest.
Yeah, the smells that came from the fest for the conventions I've gone to. This is one that Nathan pulled. I think it's a shiny card. Eugene Choi. I've never even seen Shazam. I have no idea who this character is from.
Shazam. I've seen this Shazam.
Nathan looks like he had a blast. He got into the HRO stuff, which is kind of ironic because we were like talking about it on stream like while he started posting about it. And I was like, oh, I just looked up like the mint structure for all this stuff, so I was helping him figure out what he pulled.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, he had pulled like I think it was an epic or something.
Yeah, which is actually not bad. It's one of the rare ones.
In reality, you guys got scammed.
That's a good one. Let's see.
It's a pretty good soundbite.
The fraud one's really good too. The who's that? Ja Rule.
I don't know about this pad coin. I'm gonna have to look this up. Prince
I would call that false advertising. I would call that fraud. That's fraud. That's not fraud.
Ja Rule, what do you think about that? What do we have from Jeff Bezos? Oh my god, is that how he laughs? He laughs like an evil villain.
Holy shit.
Hell yes.
I don't think I've ever heard Jeff Bezos talk.
He doesn't really have an iconic voice.
I think he needs to be added to the cage match with Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. So Max, I forget zoinked into Padcoin. Is that the one, the fake? We did look at it on stream at one point. The one where Zilly Zonka or whatever Zach calls himself. He's like, yeah, the pump and dump coin. We definitely looked at that one on stream. We've been streaming for too long. Yeah, we looked at that one.
Okay, yeah, I do know that one.
When we looked into it, though, I was like, I hadn't seen the episode, so I almost fell for it. I was like, I thought you would legitimately wanted us to analyze a crypto, and then I was like, oh no, this is a goof. It's a goof and a gaff.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was a good one. I love how like it's so clearly a goof, but you're like, you still like as somebody in the space is like, are they trying to be legitimate? I don't know, because like the legitimate shit in this space is so fucked. Yeah.
So we're gonna give away this Dogzilla Woof Rider pack. Last call if you want to do ! Neon in the chat. And in case you missed it earlier,
open on the 27th.
We are not streaming on Thursday unless Max wants to do a solo stream, but I think I have like an 8 to 10 hour work day, so I will be working on Thursday, which honestly I'm happy to have the work. I need money, but won't be streaming on Thursday, but we will be streaming on Friday. So we'll do the off the rails stuff on Friday. So if you like the weird TikTok, Reddit, Twitter videos we watch, that will happen on Friday. And we might also be streaming from NFTopia. So it might be a double stream. We might burn the eyeballs of everybody at NFTopia that hasn't seen one of our off the rails stream, because we'll get raided into by whoever's streaming for us, and we will force people to watch our off the rails videos. So probably look out for a lot of Grubfish and a lot of off the rails on Friday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I wonder what else is going on this week. I feel like I was going to say, oh yeah, there's like a new, since we're not going to be streaming for the next couple of days, I kind of want to talk a little NFT stuff. There's a new collection by the Wax team. Highly speculated. I would say it's less speculation and more like, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's confirmed, but it's pretty damn close to it. Let me see if I can find that real quick.
I don't know about this one. What is this one? Wax
Looks like it's going to be a 10K PFP drop by the Wax team.
Oh.
God, we
a separate one from the V-Bots and the V-Punks? Didn't they already do like a couple?
Yes, they've already done multiple. But this one, I assume they might try to sell now that the sales are working. Because I think they want to use NFT Hive's tool, if I had to guess. Here we go. I found it. So it's called the Barbarians.
Oh, okay. These actually look kind of
really
cool.
Like the artwork, to be honest. I want to not like it because I feel like it's going to be cash grabbing. The Wax team will just abandon it like the other two PFPs they've already done. But if this is a reasonable price, I will mint a couple of these. I think they look sweet. Yeah, there's really no information about it. There's no templates. The website is just wax.io. Like when it says go to the website, it's like,
oh damn.
Which obviously you could be like, it doesn't need to be the Wax team to link it to the Wax website.
Yeah,
how do you know this is made by the Wax team? I got receipts. Don't worry. Give me a second. It was created by Barbarians. So let's go check this wallet out on EOS Authority, which is my favorite place to kind of do a mix between Wax Detective and
yeah, it's a good place to snoop.
Also, I wanted to show off Anders' tool, but maybe we'll do that next Tuesday. We did too much tech stuff today. You can look at Barbarians. It was created by ESO.io. That is not a wallet that you can just be made from if you're not like that's. If you look at ESO.io, it was created by Self. Nobody created this wallet. This is the wallet that generated Wax.
Yeah, like, that's a Genesis. That's a Genesis wallet.
Yeah, so that's
like one of the few.
And then if you look at the funding, official.wax sent them Wax. So like,
that's pretty damning, I'd say. Yeah.
How much did they send them? Let's see if I can find that out.
You should be able to filter by like received tokens, and it'll show that one, right?
Received token. Nice. I sent them 250 Wax, so not even that much. And that was also on July 22nd. we're pretty on the ball of this stuff coming out. That was 3 days ago. And also, this was never publicly announced. It was just found on chain from Lunatics. I have to say, I didn't find it. Jolly posted it in our chat. So shout out to Jolly.
GG Jolly. I also really like Jolly's succubus character. I'm considering buying one. I really like the way they look. They're not really getting cheaper, and I still want one.
Prince X Phoenix says I shared a giveaway for 25 Oxio Origin keys in your Discord. So here I'll post a link to our Discord. Maybe check that out if you're interested in That drops on the 29th, so that would be Friday, right? Or Saturday? I think Saturday is the drop for the profiles and the keys, so I might try to participate in that. It's $1 for the keys, $10 for the avatar. The avatar is probably going to instant sell out. Not sure about the keys, but I'm going to try to get one.
Yeah.
I sort of don't think I will, just based on
the avatar thing is also like, I'm like confused. Is it an avatar or is it an avatar shard? Which I don't understand what that is.
For $10, I'm willing to YOLO and figure it out later.
Yeah, I'm going to roll the dice anyway. But
First research later is not usually my advice, but I will not take my own advice on that one. And just go for it.
Well, you got to do it sometimes. That's part of everything in moderation. This is the part where you moderate your moderation.
I also don't even know if I have $10 worth of wax right now. I might have to move some stuff around. I had to fund I spent a lot of my liquid wax funding my Polygon wallet.
Oh, right.
Oh, congrats
that
to
was
Left
a
House
weird ass fucking
Shout out to the Pepes. I will say, though, there's a weird thing happening in profile pictures, which is really not good for holders, where people buy the drop and then they sell for like a couple wax under the drop just to rebuy the drop again until they get a higher ranking because they're trying to get the #1 rank just so they can win the lottery ticket. But it's definitely causing people just to buy and then tank the floor just because they're only looking for which I haven't checked Left House's floor. I can't guarantee that happened to Left House, but it happened to the Shiba one and it's seemingly happening to all the new ones. And it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
HCA U.WAM is maybe not creating the best ecosystem for profile pictures here because people only want the high rarity ones or they just dump everything else.
Yeah. I also I want a bunch of my fucking own, like our NFTs when we do our profile picture. I want those, but it's not about market share or trying to like sell to a fucking. That's the other thing is I probably wouldn't sell it even if I pulled the rarest one. I wouldn't list it, but.
HCU.WAM will have to kick rocks. He ain't getting #1 if we pull it.
Yeah, you're not getting that. That'll just be pinned in my wallet. But
I'm also, I've kind of been talking on Discord. I don't know how much you've been lurking, but we're probably going to make a whitelist for our profile picture, which we'll throw this up to you. PFP is becoming the new land, says Eric.
Totally.
I just want my Neon Space PFP. We are working on them. And
yeah.
I'm thinking anybody that holds 50 or more of our NFTs will have a guaranteed whitelist spot. And it'll be like Crittercraft where you have a 24-hour time to claim that. And if it's not claimed, then another cooldown for freshes. And there's going to be a bunch of people holding 50 or NFTs that are literally not even in the space anymore. So there's a good shot you'll get more than one claim if you are, well, I don't know. I can't guarantee that. I can guarantee you can get one claim if you notice within the 24 hours. But I also need to do the math to make sure. The reason we're not 100% committing to this yet is I don't know how many people have 50 or more NFTs. And if it's like 500, then we can't do that because we need to sell some publicly. So we do need to figure out a cutoff that's not going to like take all of them for the whitelist. But I would like to whitelist it. So I do think since we're going to be advertising in the cloud wallet and maybe on Atomic Hub like that, it might sell out really fast. And then people might just try to price gouge our community. So I'd like our community to at least get a shot to mint 1, people that have been supporting us for a couple of years. And if other people don't claim, then you might get a shot at 2. So,
yeah. Plus, if you've been holding our NFTs, there's also a chance at the airdrop. There will be airdrops for existing holders.
Yeah, we'll also be airdropping 200 of them to current holders, but I feel like that's very lottery. Whereas, like getting a whitelist, I will say that we'll pretty much guarantee 100. If you hold 100 Neon Space NFTs, you will make the whitelist. I counted like a little over 50 accounts. We can definitely do 50 accounts in the whitelist. I'd say if it's under like 100 to 200, we could probably do 50 plus, but I got to do my research on that. And let's show off our
math.
It's mostly just counting all the wallets because it's all on chain. I'll show off our preview. This is obviously no color, no border, very, very
no neon effects. This was like borderline. I was like, let's not show it off yet. I just wanted to make sure Mark and Lewis. I was like, Mark and Lewis need to know that something's being worked on. So, here's how far some of them are.
Well, I feel like the community needs to know too. Also, I think it looks sweet. I don't know.
I'm a big fan. It took a minute to get it to a point where I'm like, I actually like the way these look because there's not a lot of details when it comes to neon. It takes a minute to get it to look cool.
Also, the point of our whitelist is too to hopefully like not share. Like, I don't know if we'll even put that in like the article. We're going to try to write an article and publish it by Wax. Like, maybe just put the public sale details on there because I'm not sure we really want. I guess if people want to buy 50 of our NFTs just to participate in the drop, they can. But I'd prefer if that opportunity was for people in the community and not people.
The point of the whitelist is for people who have, like people who have been supporting us should be on the whitelist, not people who ape into it. I agree with that too.
But I don't know. I do think we should not, like, transparency is important to me. So I think people should
Sorry,
know.
I'm queuing this. I was
We'll
queuing that
figure
up.
that
We gotta
out.
watch.
But I
We'll
don't know.
watch
Also,
that
it's
after
like
this group.
it's like $35 right now to buy 50 neon from Alcor. So it's like if people really want to spend $35 to guarantee themselves to spend another additional $10 to get one of our profile pictures, like I guess that's not bad for our holders. Like that helps make our market liquid.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be the worst thing for our collection. I also don't know how realistic it is that again, like the PFP would have to 4x for you to be able to flip it at profit if you're spending $35 just to get it. But I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, you can dump the neon immediately after the whitelist too, so it
That's
might
true,
not be
but
like
I mean,
quite
people that
bad.
aren't
But
familiar
yeah,
with their collection aren't going to know how that works.
yeah.
I gotta
gotta
probably
share.
not put information about sourcing neon, but we'll be able to say if you hold the NFTs, people within our community, you can just buy the neon and put it to tokenized NFT, and every one neon is worth one NFT. So you can just get whatever you don't have up to the whitelist if you're interested in it. But it's also not going to be a discount or free. It's just a guaranteed buy. So you still have to pay full price for the NFT. So it's not like, I don't know. Some of the other projects have been doing discounts on the whitelist, but I'm just afraid it's going to sell it immediately, and I don't want our community to not get a shot to buy it. So that's why we're doing a whitelist. But anyway, let's do this Criticraft and let Max show off the.
Yeah, I'm excited to show off Paul's musical.
We also still have like months until we're gonna really it'll probably be like close to 2 months until we release our profile picture from now. So
yeah, we're waiting for the TFP hype to die first.
The hype will likely be dead by the time we do it. So I also don't know if it'll even immediately sell out. So we might be doing all that work for nothing to make a whitelist and a blacklist. But I'm planning on blacklisting everybody who's been buying like several hundred on multiple accounts of the new ones and flipping all of them. Those people are getting banned. They're getting blacklisted from a drop. And we will be whitelisting people that actually support us. So hopefully we are able to avoid some of the shenanigans. But at the end of the day, I can't stop botters from making 100 new wallets and then using fresh wallets because like you can only blacklist people that you've already caught doing malicious stuff. And if they get wise to it, which is also I'm kind of afraid to keep talking about on stream, they could very much still game the system.
Yeah, we're also not trying to like I wouldn't consider it a fail if it doesn't sell out in the first like week or whatever. I don't mind when our drops are open for a while and people can find them and participate.
But just based on the mint structure and the fact that we're probably going to advertise it in the actual web wallet, like that gets a lot of visibility and people assume you can flip anything that's like in there. So all the profile pictures that are like under 3,000 mints, even the 3,000 mints sold out that was advertised there. So like for publishing an article on the Wax official medium and advertising in the Wax wallet, it's just hard to say because like the hype could be totally gone by then. But I do think there's a chance it sells out, and that's why I want to make a whitelist because I don't want our actual supporters to get price gouged by people who have no interest in collecting our stuff.
Exactly, I agree. Congrats.
GG, nice win. I also got to make a ton of music for this. I'm going to start doing that in August. I think got to pump out probably like 10 songs.
The music is definitely. That's definitely a nice innovation for PFPs. So it's like, oh yeah, it comes with a unique like jingle as well.
It'll come with a video and a song as part of the video.
Like unique image, video, and audio. It's like, okay, nice little thing.
I guess that means we need to upload even more hashes though, which sucks. That's going to be one of the most labor intensive things is just uploading all the hashes. Because if it's a video and an image, that means we need 2,000 uploads instead of 1,000.
That's true. I guess we could just stick to the video, and
I think we should do an image though, because you literally can't use a video as your profile picture on 95% of platforms. The whole point of a PFP is it's your profile picture. So I sort of think we have to. I'm just, budget that into the
or make a like the thing I've seen at like a couple other places where I buy PFPs that are videos. They have like a tool where it's like, oh yeah, you just link your hash and it'll spit out an image for it. But the image isn't like part of the NFT. It just like will make it for you if you want a PFP, which is
I think it'd be better just to include it in the
an option.
That's a lot of education to get people to.
That's true. I don't want to have people to have to know how to do anything at all. It needs to be
also,
like
1,000 isn't that bad. Like it's going to be time consuming, but
no, I agree.
The hardest part I think is going to be the traits. Because I was talking about this in Discord, the traits aren't going to be generated. We're not using a generated tool. So like every single trait needs to be manually pasted in, and it needs to match the picture. That's gonna be the other part, because if any of them get jumbled, then the rarity score is fucked up for the entire collection. So like, that's the part I'm most nervous about, is making sure all of the traits. But I'm gonna make a spreadsheet, so basically like you can put the hash in there, and then all the traits that are supposed to go with that hash, so it can all be copy pasted. So hopefully we should not fuck that up, but there is room for human error there. So the good news is, because we're doing it pre-minted, we could mint all of them and then check if they're fucked up, and if they are fucked up, before we put them in the packs, we could, fix it.
It's also it's a very handmade, like this is made by the artists. It's not a generative generator making them weird. Like every one of them is going to be a handmade like piece of work.
I still want it to be right.
But we'll get into it in a bit. For now, let me pull up this. So Paul and his group, they wrote a musical, and this is about, if you're familiar with City Walk. City Walk is the outdoor mall outside of Universal Studios. So this is like an ode to City Walk, and we'll just play the first song. But this is the full musical.
Let me show some references to City Walk, because I feel like if you're not in Los Angeles, you probably don't know.
It's a little local centric. Like I think a lot of a little bit on the locals. Like people fucking love it out here. But yeah, I mean, check it out. This first song, and if people like it, maybe we can do a joint viewing of the full music. It's like about 50 minutes, maybe close to an hour, but it's really good. It's all original music, all original choreography.
This is City Walk. I have the picture pulled up, and it's very much like
I still see just Grubfish results at the moment.
I'm on the wrong browser. I don't even know how that just happened.
Yeah, City Walk. It's like Neon City.
It's City Walk, but it's basically like if you've been to downtown Disney, this is like outside of Universal Studios. But I don't know, there's actually some pretty cool like restaurants, and they have live music. Like you can see here, there's
wait, go back to that picture with the monkey, with the ape, the King Kong. Yeah, you'll see that referenced immediately in this first song.
You got a bunch of chains like Bubba Gump Shrimp, and like we like the we used to go
Margaritaville.
Where's the place with bottomless mimosas? It was like
it has like a Western name, like
Saddle Ranch.
Saddle Ranch, yeah, that's it. Saddle Ranch.
Saddle Ranch has got let's see if I can just find a picture. And it's also got like a mechanical
mimosas
ride
on like Sundays. They also sell like, I don't know. There's a bunch of like Buca de Beppo is one of the places there. Margaritaville. It's just like
for Skylar's birthday, and we.
Oh yeah.
Starting off with bottomless mimosas for a long day of drinking was a bad idea, but
we also started that day at like 11 or something, and so we were drinking
too early. And we were like, people were coming to visit us at a hotel room at like 11 at night, and like I was so faded by then. I feel like I probably made a bad impression to anybody who came to Skylar's birthday that day. YOLO.
But yeah, so this is a musical that is like a ode to City Walk. It's very much for LA people, but I feel like maybe you guys would like it. I would love to show it. So let's watch the first song, and then you guys can tell me if it's good enough for you to watch the rest of it. But let's take a look at it.
1993, City Walk is a microcosm of LA itself, with over 65 cool things to do. You got about 30 one-of-a-kind stores, 8 totally hot spots, and more, representing all the different cultures, foods, styles, fads, and fashions that make the city of Los Angeles so unique. City Walk is LA's place to play.
Mile from Hollywood, thousands of people pass every day through these neon halls. In this outdoor mall, I hear people say,
"What am I doing here? It's like downtown Disney, but worse."
"Or Times Square, but worse."
place is so mainstream. The zone is not zen, it's a place for children. Does he even know me?
11 we ride the mummy ride. At 12 we buy a wand. At 2 I propose in front of the minions and put a ring on her arm. City walk, city run, city jump, city fun, city find your dreams. City laugh, city love, city learn, see the city scream. City do, city don't, city will, city won't, city shop, city buy, city cry. At city, at city.
Ooh, voodoo donuts. Can we get some?
No, we don't have time to.
Come on.
Andrea!
There you go. That's the intro song.
That's pretty cool.
It's yeah, I think it's great. But yeah, it's all original songs. They wrote it all together. I think like 2 months or something from like conception into like first performance. Really talented group of people. But that's Paul's UCB team. There's a whole musical there. You can come see it live if you're in LA. I think it's coming on again next month. But yeah, maybe we could do like a viewing of the entire thing at some point. But I just wanted to show that off. It's really, really fun. Really good. It's gotten a standing ovation every time he's done it. And they've done it like 5 times, sold out every time too. Pretty dope. So yeah, thanks for watching.
What's up?
What's
up?
We're about to log off. But what's going on, Mahala?
On that note, though, yeah, it's good stuff.
I do feel like we could
Really
use,
big.
as an audio person, I'm just like, ugh, the audio. But
Yeah, there's a couple times where it like doubles still, and I don't know, it needs a little.
I think they were using 2 cameras and they had both of the audios playing, and like there's
yeah, some of the times it needs a little finesse. The whole point of this video is just to send it to like festivals and stuff so that they can see what it is and approve or like pass on
sure.
If they want to like sponsor.
Work in production too much to not notice audio issues. I'm like,
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. I felt that too, actually. Yeah.
Well, anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. We're going to raid into Jungle Pry, and we will be streaming next on Friday at probably 2:30 Pacific time, maybe a little earlier because we're supposed to. If we stream from 3, we're going to have to raid into someone at 4, and we pretty much are incapable of streaming for just 1 hour or so. Maybe we'll start at 2 and then end at 4. Maybe that'll be our schedule for Friday. We will not be streaming on Thursday. Hit us up in Discord if you want to hang out. Otherwise, see you then. Hope everybody's having a good week.
Yeah.
Say hi to
I hope everyone didn't fall asleep in the tech stuff we were doing. It was getting really deep today. See you guys.
Infinity mirror.
Thanks for joining.
Look at that infinity. I make my own sound effects.
Yeah.
All right. Catch y'all later. Peace out.
See you. Barbie.
And I got to